body's yearning. Wherever you wanna go, I'm gonna walk by your side for everything I'm worth. And if the journey makes you stumble, or the road is far too long, then backwards we will wander. I will never turn around, 'cause I know everything you said, everything you've done, whatever you want, whatever you need, rely on me.
Yeah, rely on me. You can rely on me, Dan.
Okay.
Good morning. We're live. Good to see you, man.
It's good to see you too.
Yeah, and you
Live and in
so
the
you went
flesh.
with the shades.
Yeah, I had to
Well,
go with the
like
shades.
I turned my back, and you went with the shades.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. First impressions mean everything, so I didn't want to wear the shades initially. You know, I
Yeah.
want to make sure I looked you in your eye and shook your hand like a man. You
All
know?
right. Okay.
Now I got the shades on. Now you know me, so now I can put on the shades.
All right.
Is that
That's cool. Absolutely.
Yeah, perfect.
It's a first out of 50. How many shows have we done, Adam? Where are we at?
This is 57.
57. Heinz 57. Good morning, Adam, by the way. Millionaire producer Adam.
Good
Adam, it's
morning.
nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you as well.
All Systems Go AV. Anyone wanting to do a podcast here locally in the Bensalem, Philadelphia area and so forth, give All Systems Go AV a call. They're awesome. And this entire building has been PermaSafed with the leading antimicrobial in the world, PermaSafe, which we just happen to offer through one of our companies called MaxSafe Consulting. And this program is brought to you in part by MaxSafeConsulting.com. Check us out and see if there's anything in there that interests you. Welcome to the show. My name is Craig Lockard. I'm the lead host for the Recruiter podcast and the youngest man in the automobile industry.
That's cool.
Yes. Not chronologically. Just mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Yeah, I'm immature actually, so that's what qualifies me. And Dan Williams is from the land. For those of you that don't know what the land is, that's for us awesome people that lived in I was born and raised in Cleveland, and Dan is from Cleveland. What part of the city are you in?
I am from the eastern part of Cleveland. Actually, I'm originally from Lakeshore. And I got a confession to make since I'm on the.
Turn your phone down, man.
I was trying to. I got a confession to make since I'm on the. I still eat my boogers.
Yeah,
guys. Yeah,
and that. That's relevant. How?
I just wanted to let everybody. Well, I just wanted to wait till I came on the show just to let the world know that I still eat my boogers.
All right.
So. I just wanted to let you guys know that.
That's okay.
But PermaSafe, right?
I think we're going to clip that. We're gonna mark that and use that in clips.
That's cool, man. That's great. And PermaSafe, I wonder if you can drink PermaSafe with a cure COVID.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Although it is registered with the FDA along with the EPA, but I don't think that's probably a good thing to do. However, we did my son Joe and I, who's the managing director of AutoMax Recruiting. We did a spot, if you will, for PermaSafe in here, and I had Joe actually fog me with it. Because there's the fogger there. It's a low impact fogger, and that's how you apply the product. And it's, but so I had him actually spray me to show how safe it was. Yeah, I don't think drinking it would probably be advisable.
Okay, so I was just wondering about that. I didn't know.
Because what it does, it actually it creates a new surface.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, the science behind it, Dan, is that it creates a surface with actually positively charged protons that attract negative neutrons, and it literally electrocutes them.
Wow.
So 99.999%, it's called a 5-log kill, kills all viruses, all bacteria, and does literally kill the coronavirus.
Wow.
Not specifically COVID-19. which we have to make sure that we say that.
Right.
But it will kill. As an example, if you have an 8-inch space here in front of you, and let's say there's 1 million particles of bacteria, viruses, what have you. With a 5-log kill, the 99.999%, it takes 1 million down to 10. So 1 million concerns me. 10 particles.
You're not concerned.
Concerns me a lot less.
Right.
Right? So yeah, that's how powerful the thing is, man. It's for cars, for the inside of cars, it's a zero-brainer, and it can be upsold in the F&I department for warranties. Building, for the facilities, for obviously for employees, customers, keeps every area safe. It's really a no-brainer. I mean, we've sold this stuff to beauty salons, you name it, karate studios, what have you. It's really in the whole studio. It's been PermaSafe, so it's pretty awesome product.
You hear that, ladies?
Yeah.
I had a joke, but I'm just gonna leave it alone. Never mind. But yeah, PermaSafe, man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think
awesome.
I think that the world needs more PermaSafe.
Yeah, the world does need more PermaSafe.
For sure.
Yeah, you can rep the product if you like. We can talk about that off air.
Yeah, I can see what's up, man. You know what? I got a cat for quarantine, and I really want to like PermaSafe her litter box. For sure.
That's not a bad idea, actually. Yeah. That really isn't. That's not a horrible idea. It really isn't. So, all right. So we talked about it for 3 seconds prior to going live here. The Browns are 4-1.
Yeah, they're 4-1.
It's like, how old a guy are you, Dan?
I am 36 years young.
36? You're a freaking baby, man. Jesus,
I'm a dinosaur out here. I don't know
You're
what
a
you're talking
baby,
about.
dude.
I've been doing this for so long. I've been out here for
for so long. I got shoes older than you. You're
That's
kidding
good.
me,
That
man.
means you buy good shoes then.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Absolutely. It's important.
Exactly.
That's funny. 36. Let's see. What was I doing? I can't say what I was doing at 36. So my life didn't start until I was 41.
Yeah.
That's when I stopped doing a bunch of really bad things for me. But yeah, 36 years old. It's funny when at 36 you go, oh crap, my life's half over.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm 60. I'm going to be 69 here in a couple weeks. I'll give you my home address for the present.
Okay, I got you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm sure you wouldn't want to forget that. So it would be important.
Right. Most definitely.
Right.
What do you want? I mean, you're turning 69.
Well, yeah. So I told the guest Monday I collect baseball cards. I have over 200,000 baseball cards. So
Oh yeah, that's cool.
yeah. So you can. That'd be good. You can just do that. I'll give you my address.
Right. You don't need like Pokemon cards or anything like that?
No,
See,
sir.
I used to collect Pokemon cards. I'm not sure if you know what those are.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandson was into that, so
Yeah.
I got him a bunch of those.
I used to get them back when eBay, you didn't know if you were going to get the stuff sent to you or not, or if they were just going to steal your money or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's back in the day.
Right.
It's like 1997.
You didn't participate in the live Pokemon hunts and stuff, did you?
Yeah, I did that a little bit with my son. It was all right. It was
Did
cool.
you?
Yeah,
With
for
your
sure.
son?
What'd you say?
With your son?
Yeah, for sure. Most definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. How many? What do you got?
I got 3 kids. I got 3 boys. I have a 14-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 3-year-old.
Oh,
Actually.
dang. Oh, man. 14 and 11.
Yeah, my 14-year-old, man. I don't know. He's just growing up. You know how it is. Just doing.
Crazy world to raise children in right now, right, dude?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Most definitely a crazy world, man.
The advice parents have to give children today is far different than the advice that I had to give my children when they were those ages, and the generation before that. Everything's far different.
Yeah, everything's definitely different. I feel like, well, my parents they didn't know what they just said. Get a good job and go to school, and obviously, that's
Right. Yeah.
that's not even my thing. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
For sure. Well, it's just so funny because like get a good job and go to school. Yeah, that sounds nice, but does that really work? You know?
Well, it depends what you're getting into, I guess, and what your interests are. There's some things, obviously, you need a college degree for or education for, specifically, whether you're going to be an engineer or,
Yeah.
So on and so forth. But, when you got kids getting into computer graphic design and so forth, or gaming, I watched on Netflix, what was it called? High Score. It's a series about starting with Atari and the history of gaming. And these kids are making millions of dollars, man. 15, 16-year-olds just banging out big bucks.
They're making
at
like
these tournaments.
$300,000 a month.
That's
some
right.
of them, I told my son, my 11-year-old, like he just loves playing video games so much. And I'm like, man, if school is going to, stay weird like this, we're just going to, have you take your GED and just get that, in the 6th grade. Once you finish the 6th grade, you could just get your GED and then you'll just focus on video games, because the world is totally different now. It's spaced out. A lot of people do not know how to socialize. They just know about one specific thing, and that's all they can talk about. And they really don't know that much about, the general public. They only know what they know.
Right. Well, in our business, with recruiting talent for different businesses, and specifically, we'll talk a lot about the auto industry today. I'm a little split on that. If I owned a store, and I'm going to ask you that question here in a minute, but if I owned a dealership right now, I think I'd like to have some sort of mix. I'm not going to hire somebody just because they have a college degree. I'm also not going to hire someone specifically because they do not and they have street experience. I'm probably going to, I'd like to think that I'd hire a diverse group of men and women that have a multiple of different experiences, college being one of them. However, in saying that, statistically, and I think this is important, depending on how the person interviews. And these numbers, it can be Googled, so you guys can Google me and say I'm wrong and throw it in the comments and show how stupid I am. But I think statistically, out of the 70,000 people that are going to graduate this year from college, somewhere in the let's say 75% of those people are not going to be able to find a job in their field.
I can believe it.
Right? So that's bad. Number two is the average person is graduating from college with in excess of $38,000 in student loan debt. Okay? That's a crap load of dough.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, these two statistics are very interesting to me, especially for the automobile industry. And the percentages these vary depending on what you Google and what you research, but predominantly women, more women graduate from college than men.
Yes.
And more women go to school, continued education longer than men do. So what that would say to me, if I was running an automobile dealership, if I feel that I have a problem making my store more diverse in terms of male to female, what I'm going to do is when I run an ad, I'm going to run an ad something. I'm going to tag it with a lot of female-dominated industries, but I'm going to talk about a college tuition reimbursement.
Yes.
I mean, you got fast food places doing it, dude. It's like a car dealership can't. The average student loan's around $350 a month. Research, quote air quotes, research says that the number one fear for a college graduate is not public speaking. It's not death. It's that student loan hanging over their head, man. I mean, I know people that have been paying on their student loans for 15 years.
Right.
It's insanity. So why wouldn't a car dealership, if they are so inclined to chase after females with a college degree, why wouldn't they offer to any college graduate a tuition reimbursement with real low-lying criteria, 6 cars, 8 cars, whatever, to make it basically a no-brainer. And they don't actually pay their student loan. They give them the whatever it is, $350 a month or whatever it is, so they can pay that student loan debt. Consequently, taking one of the fears, one of the barriers away from that person to allow them to come into the business. And it's like, okay, at least my student loan's taken care of.
Right.
So now I can concentrate on making some money.
Right. Exactly.
So, any feelings about that? What do you think about that?
I definitely owe $30,000 in student loans.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cassandra, who called me yesterday asking me about my student loan, and I hung up on her. So
Why? Wait. Why? What do you mean?
I mean, I guess she's from some collection agency. But here's the thing: student loans. And,
I thought aren't they on hold until January or something?
Man, I don't know.
I thought they were on hold or something like that.
Right.
I thought the president put or
Well,
whomever.
they did. The president did, and but I know I know she definitely called me, and I hung up on her, and I'll always hang up on you, Cassandra. So
Yeah, Cassandra.
Yes.
Don't do that again. Man.
No, never
Come
do
on,
that.
man. Call somebody else.
But yeah, student loans, man, they suck, and predatory lending also. And when you go to college and you're in line, first thing they do is that they sign you up for a credit card.
It's amazing.
The very first thing they do is that they F up your credit. So
Unbelievable.
I mean,
18-year-old with a credit card.
Yeah.
I could barely walk and chew gum at the same time at 18, man. There's
Right.
no way I should be getting a credit card.
I got
There's a
my
couple.
credit-
I should not have been allowed to drive. And in my opinion, there ain't no way an 18-year-old should be allowed to vote. There's just no way. Do you know an 18-year-old? You take 1,000 18-year-olds from, I don't care, urban, country, rich, poor, black, white, Asian, Spanish, whatever.
Yes.
There ain't 3 18-year-olds in this country out of 1,000 that have any idea about civics or about the Constitution,
No.
about politics. They're voting.
To stay lazy.
Maybe. Well, they're voting on personalities.
Yeah, they are.
And,
Well, you know what? Vote for me, okay?
vote for Dan?
Vote for Dan.
Right, Dan.
Dan the booger man.
Right.
Vote for Dan if you
I
can.
don't think that's a good slogan, dude. I just don't.
It's memorable though. So
All
that's what we're shooting for here. For that personality.
That's right.
know?
So who we have here, I'm going to give you a soft introduction, then I want you to take over on where people can find you. But Dan Williams is the CEO of Solomon, Abraham and Associates. That the name of your company, does that have, I mean, obviously those are biblical names. Is that why it was named that, or what? Is there any relevance to that?
Most definitely. I named it Solomon Abraham just after Solomon. I have no idea what Solomon's last name was, so I just said Abraham since that's well, that just sounds right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, right. Well, the same family tree. So
yeah. Plus, I never get pulled over, with that on my license plate. So everything's pretty cool.
that's on your plate.
Well, no, the business owns the company cars. So
Gotcha.
yeah, so that's perfect. It's better than saying booger man on the plate,
Way better.
Yeah.
You would get pulled over a lot.
I know, right?
A black man with booger man on his plate could be a problem. That could be problematic.
Yeah, even if
think.
I did have a Bible on the dash.
Yeah, I don't think it would matter, dude.
No, yeah, that's serious. That's true.
So
yeah.
tell the way this thing works. It's the podcast numbers. This thing's strange, but X amount of people watch Today Live. Typically, these shows, and we talked about it a little bit beforehand, are generally either really early in the morning, like Lundy's show with Rise and Grind, so people aren't at work, or they're later in the evening where people are not at work. At this time slot, most people are working.
Right.
But what happens is you'll see this, and I'll send you the numbers as they go.
Yeah, for sure.
We pick up about 1,000 views a day.
That's good.
So it has shelf life.
Definitely.
So that's kind of interesting. But what I'd like to do is, instead of waiting to the end of the show, because this thing might go on a while today, folks, so buckle up. Where can people reach you? All the different social platforms. Just tell the audience a little bit, kind of a Cliff Notes version of you, the company, what it does, and where people can find you and how they get in touch with you.
Okay, I guess Solomon Abraham and Associates is a global executive search firm. We're actually minority owned. We're based out of Cleveland, Ohio. When today's entertainment, retail, consumer, digital, fashion, luxury, and automotive companies seek to build or turn around their brands with a key executive hire, one of their chief concerns is getting lost in the bureaucratic maze of a large executive search firm. And basically, leaders, they need a recruiter who has a deep reach in the industry. I do fashion and also automotive retail, and somebody who always answers the phone and who's always able to take care of them. So that's just something that I do. That's something I pride myself on, and I've been running Solomon Abraham for like the past 2 years, and things have been going pretty well. And you guys can catch me. Truthfully, my favorite platform is LinkedIn.
Yeah, it is. I noticed that. Yeah,
and it's Dan Williams. And also the website, it's solomonabraham.life, and that's where you guys can reach me.
Yeah, it's a real nice site, actually. Kudos whoever put that together.
That was me.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's simple, but it looks good. Aesthetically, it's nice, and it's easy to navigate. I checked it out. Kudos to you. That's a good job on you.
Thank you.
Then Instagram. Now, guys, you're going to need a pencil to this. 'Cause Dan made a really simple. He has a really super simple Instagram handle. But if you would give that out, please.
Okay. Well, my Instagram, it's Wise WIZE Dome DOME 365247.
Right. And
So
for those of you, I found out that just recently that if you just put in Wise Dome, @WiseDome, the rest of it will pop up, and you'll
it'll pop.
get his Instagram. Are you on Twitter too, or no?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter, but it's just Solomon Abraham on Twitter.
Okay.
I really don't tweet that much. I really just use Twitter just to catch the news first. It seems like
Me
Twitter
too.
has the best news, and they're always first. So
It seems
I
that
like to
way.
use them.
Yeah, I agree. It's weird the way that algorithm works too, is it not? And I don't know if you're liberal, conservative. I'm guessing you're somewhere. Yeah, would I be correct in saying you're right-leaning centrist? Would that be correct?
Yeah, that's cool because I'm definitely conservative.
Okay.
A lot of people would think I am, but I am.
Yeah,
most definitely for sure.
Okay. A friend of mine. I just noticed it this morning when I woke up. Elise Kephart, do you know that name?
It sounds familiar.
She's
somebody. I think I know somebody named Elise. But
the YouTube diva was her name. It was her handle for a long time. She does BDC training and video training, video email. She's real big into. She's pretty well known in the automobile industry and in the BDC world. Yesterday, she was at a VIP meet and greet with Candace Owens.
Okay.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like Candace.
I like her too.
She's pretty controversial, but I don't know, man. She's pretty smart.
She is.
I don't disagree with much of what she says or how she says it. She's a pretty good debater. She's pretty strong.
Right.
So, okay, and they can find you on LinkedIn, Facebook. You're D Williams, right?
Yeah,
D-double-E.
Yeah, Facebook. I'm D Williams. Facebook is Facebook is a platform I like to use just to really just socialize and just be cool, And really, I just post a whole bunch of funny stuff, or just Facebook. I really just put up like however I feel. So
right.
That's just Facebook.
Do you have a business Facebook page too?
Yeah,
or no?
my business Facebook page obviously is Solomon Abraham and Associates. But if you guys really want to catch me and and talk money or all things serious and introduce yourself to me, LinkedIn would be the perfect place.
Awesome.
Yeah, most definitely. If we could go from LinkedIn to Instagram to Facebook, but let's meet on LinkedIn first, and let's build a relationship, and then let's take it to another platform.
Yeah.
That way, you're not like, oh, why are you posting this on Facebook? Well, it's because I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You feel me? That's why. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, there's no doubt in our business LinkedIn is the place to be. I mean, it's basically a no-brainer. It's that is networking amongst professionals. I think the average income is, I don't know, it's six-figure, I believe, is what they say.
And 33% of LinkedIn professionals are millionaires as well. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's the place. That's where you really want to be. And then like Facebook really is just for like, it's really let your hair down type of atmosphere.
Right. Argue about politics, call people names, and
the demographics. Yeah, for sure. Right. It's mainly for politics and for cats.
Yeah.
So that's where.
Did you see the Netflix? Did you see Don't F with Cats? Did you watch that series?
No. What was that about?
Dude, it's pretty interesting. It's about a video surfaced on Facebook of this guy killing a cat. Okay?
Oh, man, you can't F with cats.
Right? Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. So this group got together, a Facebook group, and started deep diving into the evidence. Right? And it's like, okay, well, that doesn't sound very compelling, Craig, as a series. Dude, I'm going to tell you what. You watch this thing, you will not be able to turn it off. How these people from Facebook literally found, from a video, found the guy that killed the cat. And I don't want to.
Now he's facing life in prison.
Yeah, well, it gets much worse. But I mean, it's bad. But I highly recommend it. It's really compelling. It sounds goofy, but you will not be able to turn it off.
Now you say that we're talking about these cats and stuff, and you haven't been back on air in quite some time. But did you watch Tiger King?
Did not watch it. Everybody watched it. I did not watch it. I heard so many podcasts about it because I watch a lot of comedians' podcasts. I watch Rogan, Segura, Kreischer, Theo Vaughn, Andrew Santino, Bobby Lee. I watch all those podcasts, and they were constantly talking about it. And it's like, okay, so I kind of get the whole thing, but I understand it was pretty good. It was crazy.
Yeah, man, that guy's a character, man.
Right. So he was gay, or was he gay or not gay?
Yeah, he is.
He is, right? Yeah. That wasn't a gag. He was. I don't mean gag.
Well, I don't know him personally, but from what I saw on the show, yeah.
Okay, and so he had two boyfriends, and then the wife, because he was married too, right? Is that right, or am I wrong about that?
He had a feud. There's a Tiger Queen, I guess.
Right.
It's not him. There's actually like literally a Tiger Lady.
Right.
And they're beefing.
Right.
They got some beef, and he says that she killed her husband and stole all of his money. And
is it Texas? Ever from Texas?
No, they're in Oklahoma, I believe.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I heard
she's in Florida.
I heard the other day on Rogan, I heard Texas has more tigers on private property in Texas than there are in the rest of the world. In the state of Texas, people own more tigers
than there are in the world.
Yeah. How crazy is that, dude? I mean, crazy. Texas is a big state, but like you have tigers on your property?
Do you remember when Mike Tyson took that picture with that tiger with that diaper on?
Sure do. I love Mike Tyson, man.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah. I love Mike Tyson.
He's Buddhist now, I think.
Yeah, is he?
So, yeah, he's like all cool and stuff.
He's going to fight again.
Yeah. He's going to fight Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, that should be interesting. Roy Jones was on Rogan yesterday, I think.
What's he talking about?
I haven't watched it yet. But I'm good. That's a must watch. Roy Jones is.
He used to be one of the best.
Oh, he's a badass.
Then he got slow. Yeah. And he started getting knocked out. So
he was a badass.
He tried to be a rapper.
Yeah, they all do.
Athletes want to be rappers, and rappers want to be athletes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snoop would like to be a athlete. That's for sure.
Snoop's starting to look like somebody's auntie.
Yeah. Well, his hair's going back and back and back a little bit. He's gonna have to.
He's getting older and skinnier. He's looking like the Crypt Keeper. Snoop needs to do some push-ups. I was thinking about him the other day. Like, damn, Snoop, man.
Yeah. Get in shape.
Yeah.
Right?
It might be over with, though. For he's just smoking weed, just chilling with Martha Stewart, cooking Salisbury steaks or something.
That dude can smoke some weed, that's for sure.
He's got iron lungs.
I don't know how he can function with as much weed as he, and it's legit. It's not
Yeah.
legend. The dude's,
Yeah.
I mean, he's smoking major blunts like every day.
Yeah, major blunts every day.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you know, guy's worth a couple $100 million or whatever it is. Pretty
Most definitely.
interesting. Different ways to make money.
Kids, don't think that you could be Snoop though and just smoke major blunts all day every day
No.
and you're going to be worth a couple $100 because you're not Snoop.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
that is
sure.
good advice to our young listeners out there.
Yeah.
All right, let me get into the one canned question that we set up beforehand.
Okay.
And it's the only, obviously, this thing's gone all, we've been on a half hour already, and it's gone all over the place like I thought it might. So the one canned thing that I've asked every single guest that's been on here. Somehow, somewhere, some way, some OEM, doesn't matter, you get to choose. A dealership becomes available. An open point becomes available to you to buy.
Okay.
You have some money. The OEM kicks in some money. You got some other investors. Maybe I lend you some money. But anyhow, you end up, you're welcome. So anyhow, we end up with this store. We got a building, we got blacktop, we got computers, we got diagnostic equipment in the service department, and that's it.
That's it.
So we're going to call it, what do we want to call this? Williams Auto Emporium? Not horrible. Solomon and Abraham, that's probably not going to, I don't think that'd work.
Sharky McShark's Auto Emporium.
We'll go with Sharky McShark's Auto Emporium. Okay, that's done deal. Okay, that's what's going on the sign. Going to have to be a big-ass sign, but that's what we'll go with.
Okay.
All right, so seeing that you're in, and I want to get into deeper into that, and probably should have gone there first, but we're diving into this, so we'll come back to it. But seeing that you're in the recruitment business, staffing, recruiting, whatever you want to call it. I think I'm pretty sure that you would agree with this 100% that the most important capital, the most important investment that you can make in any business, specifically the automobile industry, is in your people. Yes or no?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so let's start. Let's start there, Dan. So you got this blank sheet of paper. This is your chance to make millions and millions of dollars in the auto industry, owning a store. We're going to start with people. What are some of the things that you're going to look for specifically, broad stroke, and then more specifically to staff that dealership in any department, not just sales, but literally anywhere? Take the listeners through that. What's that place going to look like? How are you going to hire people? What specifically are you going to do?
Well, number one, as far as salespeople, I'm going to create my own salespeople. It's a lot easier to give birth than it is to raise the dead.
No question.
And then number two.
So we're going with inexperienced, so-called green peas, right?
Yeah, inexperienced green peas, and then I'm going to bring in. For my service department, I'm going to bring in a little bit older gentleman to my service department, and I'm going to make everybody that I hire, I'm going to make them partners. And then I'm going to have them train the new service people. We're going to start bringing in people from UTI and stuff like that.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, so you're talking about, the service director becomes either through profit sharing or something, he's going to be a legit partner in this dealership. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay. And the reason for that is why?
The reason for that is because I have no clue how to run a service department, but I definitely know sales, so I'm going to depend on him, and I'm going to pay him what he's worth, and I'm going to pay his guys what they're worth because all the money's made in the service department. So I'm going to make that initial group of guys, let's say there's 15 service techs. I'm going to make those 15 service techs and that director, I'm going to make all of them partners.
Well, any techs or service directors that are listening right now, I bet you're like, I can see people doing the wave out there in listener land. That's pretty strong. That's a bold move. I've never heard anybody say that, but let's investigate that a little bit. So obviously, well, not obviously, because some people might not know this. The closer that you can come in running an automobile dealership to what they term 100% service absorption means that the nut, all the expenses within the dealership are covered by the service department, the revenues, and then ultimately, actually, the net profit covers all the expenses of the store. So then what that means in turn is every single car you sell becomes legit before tax net profit, because every expense is taken care of the service department. That's every dealership's dream. And there's some dealerships that are actually not only have the expenses covered, but actually are profitable over and above that. So what I'm hearing is what we're going to do with Rock'em Sock'em Motor Emporium, or whatever the hell you said.
Rock'em Sock'em, yeah.
So we're going to make the service director a minority partner in this business. If you're going to do that, you might as well go ahead and have the GM have a piece as well, I would think. But everybody's going to get a piece initially, so thank me later. Thank me in about 10 years. And we're just going to keep it rolling. Yeah. So
I'm out after 10 years. I'm out.
You're going to sell.
Yeah, most definitely. I'll sell and I'll own the land.
All right.
So
now you're going to have a 21-year-old son, dude.
Well, he can work there. He got to work. He's not going to get anything handed to him.
All right.
You know?
There you go. All right. Good job.
Yeah.
All right. So
there'll be a trust, though. You know.
So we're going to have the service director literally vested in his or her position of this dealership. Consequently, it's on them then to protect your net and the profitability of his or her department. So consequently, you would have to assume that they're going to be very aggressive in terms of recruiting, right? And they're going to only get the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? What we found, and I tell you what, just to give you a little bit of background on our history, AutoMacs been around 23 years. I started in 97. And as recent as, I would say, 6 years ago, we'd have dealers, hey, I need automotive technicians. And then we'd internally discuss it. And unless it was an area that was kind of a no-brainer geographically, we passed because we just couldn't take their money knowing that we couldn't fulfill the agreement.
Yeah, I know, right?
So through tons of time and research and just digging and trial and error, we have, in fact, figured it out. And I would venture to say we're most likely, we probably, and I don't know how to measure this because everybody can say it. It's real easy to say. But right now, to give you an example, we probably have, 60, 70 technicians campaigns running right now. And so, we probably do a bigger job than any recruiting company in the country for the auto industry in regard to technicians. Yes. But it's not easy, man. Don't try this from home. It is really, really, really a challenge.
Yeah, it is.
Because you can't just post an ad, and texts are different. They're not looking for help wanted ads.
I don't even post ads. I call techs.
Yeah,
like, let's say if I need a Jaguar, or Range Rover tech or something like that, I'll just call and ask for them at the dealership, and then I'll just tell, the gatekeeper or whatever that he told me to call if my steering wheel was pulling to the left or something. Then when I get him on the phone, I'm going to pitch him and get his number really quick, and I'll call him after work. So, yeah, it's serious.
Yeah, it's the only way to do it. See, There's really two ways to build your service department, and we're talking about in this particular scenario, which is a little unique. We have nobody, so we have to. I mean, from day one, we're going to have to service cars, so we're going to have to steal top technicians. So we're going to have to be aggressive in doing that because, like I said, they don't answer help wanted ads. They got a job.
Yeah, they got a job, and then you know they're brand specific. That's the thing. You
Typically,
know? In
yeah.
sales, we're going to be honest. If you sold one widget, you can sell any widget.
That's a fact.
You know, it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's a no brainer, like you say.
Yeah.
But you know, if you work on Chryslers. Now, you may be able to work on the Toyota because Toyota's the easiest, but you're not going to be able to go from Chrysler to Subaru.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And dealers hope to get that. Excuse me. In some of the way we do it, it's not any big secret. We've talked about this when we present at conferences and so forth. Doing reverse searches on Indeed or ZipRecruiter and so forth using tag words. And that plus, it's a little unfair because we've been in business so long. We have 700,000 plus resumes in our database. So, you know, we have a talent network to pull from. So, and that's just because we've been around so damn long. But you have to pursue those technicians, and then you have to make a legit offer to them. There's no legit technician, A-level, master tech, that's moving his or her toolbox down the street or across the country for $5 an hour or more. I mean, it just is. They're just not doing it. You got to have a real offer. As an example, we'll try to talk dealers into 4-day work weeks. It's, in my opinion, if you get a real technician, the real deal, and I'm gonna use the word guy. It could be man or woman. There's very few women as technicians, which is a huge opportunity for women, in my opinion. They should probably take a look at that as a career. But if you have a tech, an A-level or a master tech, and they're turning 60, 65, 70 hours a week, it is, in my opinion, knowing technicians, that if you give them a 4-day work week, they will turn them same 60, 65 hours in 4 days as they would in 5 because they are into their weekends.
Yeah, most definitely.
That's where they can party, they can go play pool, they can work on their cars, spend time with their family, blow up stuff. That's right. I mean, it's just, that's who they are. And they will find a way to turn them 60-plus hours in 4 days as well as 5. Also, the thing that, and this is a minor thing, but it really bugs me, is like you get a tech that's been in a place 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and he or she's got 2-3 weeks coming, vacation time coming. You can't start the clock all over with them when they come to your store.
Right.
Give them that 2-3 weeks that they had coming at ABC Motors or wherever they're leaving.
It's already hard to get techs as is. You know what? I'm doing a search right now for a Subaru shop in Boston that has a 3-day work week.
No kidding.
Yeah, 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's strong.
Yeah, that is strong.
That's a strong selling
But
point.
you know what? The service director over there, he's young and he's progressive thinking, and he makes it work.
I'd say that's real progressive. So he's running 2 shifts, obviously, at least.
I think it's just one shift, 12 hours.
Really?
From like 7 to 7 or something like that.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's unusual. Also, in techs, you're probably going to have to relocate. Chances are of someone being in your market available, slim to none. You got to pay legit relocation expenses. And, you know, everybody talks about, you know, sign-on bonuses. Unfortunately, a lot of them are bogus. You got to have, it's got to be legit, man. It's got to be real money, and it's got to be very transparent in writing. And speaking of in writing, I'm going to try to lock a tech up. I'm going to put them on an employment agreement, man.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not going to let them leave that store. I mean, they're going to have to shoot their way out of there to leave my dealership once they're hired.
Mm-hmm.
They're too valuable.
Yeah, they're the most. They are the MVPs. You know.
Right.
I
Good way
would
to put it.
definitely I would take care of them and let them take care of the rest.
Right.
You know.
Now,
So
on the other hand, so we know we're going to have to borrow technicians from other dealerships,
yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
But the long-term play, the strong play,
Uh-huh.
is develop people.
Yeah, that's the
Farm system, man.
Yeah, that's the long play, and I mean, obviously it's going to work because it's the long play. So it's just going to take some time.
That's
one
right.
foot in front of the other.
Right.
But I think by making the service department partners with the dealership, that would give them
Right.
enough of a carrot to do the right thing. And then if they can't do the right thing every quarter, I'm firing the bottom 6% of sales and technicians. I don't care. But that's just the way it goes. So we'll do the right thing, and we'll be winners.
Yeah.
The dealership will definitely be number one in some category,
Yeah.
some type of way.
That's right.
And then with a front man like me,
Yeah,
we'll be okay.
Those would make for some interesting cable TV spots, that's for sure.
I'll do some
And
TED
digital.
Talks too, and
There
I'll
you
get
go.
I'll get a couple midgets and maybe like a bearded lady, and probably get a lion tamer. Maybe the Tiger King will be out of jail by then. I'll get him. I'll bring him in, and I'll have him open up a used car lot selling nothing but like used electric vehicles, because that's a long play as well.
Yeah.
And just juice them up. I'll just juice everybody up, man. I'll get everybody excited. We'll just make a lot of money.
There you go.
That's it. And then I'll just get everybody Adderall prescriptions. And I know a doctor, and we'll just get like Monsters in the cooler. Red Bulls. We'll probably get like a Monster Red Bull type of sponsorship. We might sell Aston Martin, so we could probably get a Red Bull sponsorship for sure. So we'll be all right. So come to Sharky McSharks.
Sharky McSharks, that's what
Yeah.
it is. Sharky McSharks, okay. Yeah.
And the Tiger King used car Emporium.
In the middle 80s, I was running a very large Cadillac Olds AMC Jeep Renault dealership, if you can believe that lineup.
So you sold a lot of Gremlins.
Yeah, we did.
Right.
And
So this was in the 70s.
this was 83,
Okay.
84.
I was born in 84. That was the best year ever. One of the best years. Besides, today is probably the best day of my life so far. Let me tell you that.
Absolutely, dude.
Thanks for having Dan the Booger Man.
And thank you for being here
Thank you.
from the land.
Yeah.
So I had a full-blown circus event. I had Caesar the wrestling bear there, where people could wrestle this bear, muzzled bear, but still a freaking bear.
I know. That's good pictures, man.
Yeah, right?
Dang.
And,
That's probably like illegal now.
I'm sure, gotta be. Yeah, well, everything we
Look
did,
at that Facebook group. They'll be on your heels.
dude, everything that we did back then was illegal today.
Uh-huh.
Everything. And it was just process and strategy back then. But basically everything we did was illegal
Yeah.
today. Back then it was just, that's the way everybody did business. But yeah, we had stilt walkers, we had clowns, we had, it's insanity, man. Newspapers, TV stations were there for free. Didn't, the ad content we got off of that thing was incredible. But yeah, the good old days. I don't think you see circuses at car dealerships anymore.
No, you don't.
Although some car dealerships are like circuses.
Yeah, they are.
Unfortunately. So
We gotta bring circuses back to car dealerships.
let's do that. Hashtag bring circuses back.
Yeah, and whatever. And you know what? I wouldn't mind. I want to start coming to conferences and stuff like that with a mariachi band. It would have been way better if I would have came here today.
Yeah,
with the
with a
mariachi band.
It would have been.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
that's a good intro.
That's your bad, man. You could have done that. You have brought that up. I'd have been all for it. We
For
could
real.
have
Or
done it.
like when you're in the club and the girls, they bring out the champagne, they got the sparklers and stuff like that.
I wouldn't know anything.
Like
about
I would just have. Well, let me tell you about it. So what
Mm-hmm.
they do is that, but that's how I want to start getting introduced. Like I want them to come in with sparklers, and then I'm in the middle, got my shades on like Bret Hart, from WWE.
There you
and
go.
I just come in and I just throw my shades.
Speaking of conferences, when they start up again, and I think it was just officially announced finally that NADA is not happening this year.
Yeah, it's going to be virtual.
Right, which, no
I don't
thanks.
like this virtual stuff, to be honest.
It's less effective, obviously.
Yeah,
than
and I
anything.
grow bored when I'm doing some virtual stuff, and then I'm just like,
Yeah, your mind wanders, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I can't. No,
No.
it's tough.
Yeah.
It's hard. But whenever this is, and I'd like to think that it's going to happen, once the conference circuit comes back, you, in my opinion, you need to be at these conferences.
Yeah, I definitely will.
You got to start doing presentations at those conferences.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether it be Digital Dealer or even some of the boutique ones, the smaller ones. Yeah, you'd play good in there. That's something you definitely should do.
Yeah, I am.
You
for
should
sure.
probably do a podcast too, dude.
I think, you know what? I feel, okay, you know what Chelsea boots are?
No.
Well, Chelsea boots are kind of like in fashion. I miss that wave of wearing Chelsea boots. That's why I don't wear them. And I kind of feel that same way about podcasts. Like I miss the wave of when the podcast first started. So I don't want to just jump on the bandwagon.
dude.
I'd rather just come visit other people's podcasts and just say what's up.
Yeah.
Than to really have my own. You know?
Yeah, I hear you. However, there are, and this is rather interesting because it's just been a year and a half we've done the Recruiter podcast. But at the time there were, and again, you guys can look this stuff up and say, "Oh, Craig, you're wrong," and that's fine. I don't read most of the comments anyway, so
Right.
But somewhere around 500,000 podcasts, and it's probably more. Not probably. There's more now, and and like to your point, it's like, oh shit. I mean, if there's that many, I'm not gonna.
Right. How do I stand out?
Right.
You know?
You'd find a way, and you stand out. You wouldn't have any trouble standing out. But every year, there are over 5 million books published. Okay, and people keep writing books, dude.
People keep writing books. It's
Right.
very true.
And there's no way you're gonna like this podcast. The one we did Monday is at, I don't know, 3,000 or 4,000 views already on Facebook. It'll go to 10,000. This
Yeah, your
over the next
podcast
week.
gets a lot of views, but that's because you've been doing this for quite some time, and
Yeah.
you also have a niche and a following.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like if I just picked up a podcast, obviously, you know, I have a niche and a following. I definitely have a following on Facebook. That's where I'm the coolest, and LinkedIn also, but. LinkedIn is very professional, but I just don't see myself doing like a pod. I mean, you know what? I don't know. I like visiting other people's podcasts.
I hear you.
You know,
I know.
and just doing my own thing. you
I've
know?
done both, but you have stuff to say, dude. You might want to give it
that's
some
very
thought.
true. I do got a lot of stuff to say though.
Yeah, and it's you
But
know.
let me tell you how this girl just broke my heart, man. Oh my god.
We're gonna go there?
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I just wanted to hear that shit. You know what I mean?
She's listening.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah,
give her
she
a
does.
shout out or no?
No.
Okay. But she broke your heart.
Yeah, she broke my heart, man.
Women,
I'm
are
just,
like that.
I'm just so nice out here. I just get walked all over, you know.
Hey, I want to, while I'm doing this, I really, I've never done this before, but I need to give a shout out. Speaking of starting podcasts, there's a gentleman, I don't know his last name. His name is Jay. So Jay, hopefully you're watching or listening. He's my next door neighbor. He's a friend of my next door neighbor, and he's starting a podcast.
What's it about?
I don't know. He doesn't say. It says, good morning, Craig. This is Jay, mutual friend of Cliff. That's my neighbor. Gave me your number. I was informed they have knowledge and experience in podcasting. I'm in the process of starting my own podcast from my man cave. Shows me a picture of his man cave, which is pretty nice. I wanted to know if there was possible I could pick your brain a little on the subject matter. I work at Atlantic Care Hospital. I probably shouldn't have said that.
But you know what's funny about starting podcasts? If you're already, you got to be popular too, buddy. If you're not a popular guy,
Well,
you just can't up and start to be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to start a podcast. If you're not popular, don't even do it.
Yeah,
I'm just going to be
I
honest.
guess.
You got to already have the juice, man.
I
With
guess.
anything in life, if you don't have the juice, you're not just going to wake up one day and just have the juice. If you never had it, you're not going to have it.
Makes it easier, but which comes, the chicken or the egg? Which comes
They
first?
came at the same time. The chicken came with the egg.
That's the way God set that one up.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
For real.
Well, you
what
got
is that-
enough of following though, man. You could.
Oh yeah, I got a pretty good follow. What except for Instagram, it's so hard to get a following. So what I do on Instagram is I follow these chicks with OnlyFans pages because I'm like, well, obviously I can't do what they do to get a following,
Right.
but I do know that wherever the women are, that's where the men will be. So I just try to figure out like I do something else too is that if you Instagram, you either have to be like an Instagram type model,
Yep.
a rapper,
Yep.
or drug dealer.
Yep.
Those three things, and you can get a lot of followers.
Yep.
So I may just pay to just get followers and just because I definitely want to get certified on Instagram. For
I
sure.
know it's real important, and it is hard.
Yeah, it's really hard, man.
I mean, we've been on Instagram probably, I don't know, maybe a year. And
You got to literally have models come in here on every episode and
Yeah.
be here with you in bikinis and play some type of quiz type of game where you get hit in the face with a whipped cream pie if you lose. Then you will get 3 Instagram followers from that show.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 1,047 followers. It's like taking a year.
I don't even have 100. I got 98.
Yeah.
But that 90, that's a strong, firm 98.
Yeah.
And I respect you guys. And guess what? You guys, if all of you guys send me $1,000 a piece, I'll be able to get to $1 million.
How often do you get hit up with the scammers, they're
Every day.
27, 28-year-old, they're all gorgeous.
Yeah.
And
I get that on Facebook a lot, though. Well, how do they do that even? I think it's some dude in Nigeria.
Oh, no doubt.
With
Zero doubt.
yeah, for real, man.
Right.
Who walks his hyena every day.
Right.
And because he's probably so wealthy from scamming people,
Right.
I wouldn't mind having a pet hyena, though.
Yeah.
We're talking about like tigers and stuff like that. Could you imagine walking a hyena?
That would be a high maintenance animal.
That's
I think.
so aggressive. You
Be
got to
tough
feed him
to
a
train.
zebra every day.
Probably.
I don't even
Is
know
that
where to
what
get
they
a
eat?
zebra
I guess
from.
that's what they
Maybe
eat.
like a clone of zebra. I don't even know
Maybe.
how to clone anything yet.
Well, you have
but-
to have a Chinese friend, I think.
Yeah,
That's
they're
probably
you think they're cloning stuff
politically
out here
incorrect.
like the island of Dr. Moreau?
In China, they are for sure.
Most
No
definitely.
question.
Yeah, because they do whatever they want to do.
Right. We probably are. We just don't know about it yet.
I
They
think
haven't
we are.
told the president where it's at yet, or he'd be cloning himself, I think.
He would be, wouldn't he?
I think
Like
so.
that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
You remember that movie? He
Yeah.
flew like
not the name, though.
yeah, me too, man. But he flew helicopters. He got cloned some type of way.
Somebody, whoever knows the answer to that, put that.
Yeah.
Throw that in the comments.
I know that
somewhere.
they're definitely cloning dogs now.
Yeah.
So
They are.
yeah. So if they can clone a dog, man.
Yeah. It's like 20 G's, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Think about it. For real, $20,000 to get a clone is not that expensive when you think about it.
No, if you want the same dog that you had for another 10 years, yeah.
That's less. That's about like 5 C8s you can get. So you can get 5 clones, or you can get you can get 1 C8. I'm sorry, that's 1
Right.
C8. You can get 1 C8 or
right,
5
for 5
clones.
dogs.
Yeah, what would you get?
Yeah.
You
Oops. Sorry about my bad.
Is that somebody with the answer?
Yeah. No, that's probably one of those Nigerian scammers.
Right. But yeah, the island of Dr. Moreau, man, that's
Yeah.
definitely going on out here for sure. It's been going on since forever, probably.
Yeah.
For real.
A lot of things go on that we don't have a clue about.
We don't know. We got to get in the 1% of the 1% to really know.
Conspiracies are interesting because typically
Uh-huh.
there's even just a sliver of truth in there somewhere.
Somewhere, because they say like 50% of stereotypes is true. That's so dumb. So that's probably the same thing with conspiracies.
Could be.
Like, what is there a conspiracy that you know of for sure that you believe in?
Well, I mean, the JFK, I mean, it's pretty obvious. There's no way that that was a one-person operation. There had to be other people.
yeah, for
I don't know if the government. I don't. Did the CIA have him killed or kill him? I don't know. But yeah, it wasn't. What was his name? Lee Harvey Oswald. It wasn't him in the book depository. That didn't happen. But that one.
And didn't he leave the gun?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. right?
Well, man, that's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that exactly. You know, that's
I've actually been there. You
Mm-hmm.
could, because now it's a museum. It's kind of it's a tourist trap where you can go up and they have it in that shot. And there's an actual X in the street, which is a little grotesque. It's a real short shot. I mean, it's not a long distance at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to go there and actually go in that building
Uh-huh.
because it's a full blown museum now. But I guess I don't know, aliens. You know,
Yeah, that's
I
the
mean,
obvious. There's definitely aliens for sure.
I don't see. Yeah, I think we're probably our narcissism kicks in, thinking that we're the only God's creation, that He didn't or hasn't created some other being in
Well,
some universe. It's
Well, you know what they say, right? Is that there's layers to this. So there's an ultimate being that created creation, that created creation, that created creation, that created creation. So realistically, we are going to create something ourselves that's going to look at us like God, and then they're going to end up creating something like The Sims, like robot or like robots. They'll eventually have souls because they'll be able to really think.
right.
You know?
Yeah. Well, AI can get pretty tricky. You talk about it a little on your website. And AI is very important in recruitment. Just a sidebar for a minute. You know, as an example, if you're not showing up on Google, you don't have a help wanted ad out there, and that's only done through coding and AI. Excuse me, frankly. So, posting hey, we need whatever on Facebook, that ain't getting it done, boys and girls. So,
No, it's not. You have to aggressively hunt.
yeah.
Like, you just got to go. You just got to get out there with the spear and just go bring dinner home, you know?
Yeah.
And that's how I look at it every day.
Right.
So,
And so, are you using? Let's get back to the dealership here for a minute. So,
even my son's name is Hunter. Okay.
no way, is it really?
Yeah, for real. So, I'm totally invested into this.
That's awesome.
So when you're dealing with me, man,
That's a great
Yeah.
name, Hunter Williams. I like that. That's really good.
that's a really good name.
Yeah, it's
He's
a
in
little
private
tricky
school.
with Biden's son right now.
Yeah, it
but-
is because he's you know what? But he doesn't need to be that type of hunter.
Right.
So
Right.
don't be out here hunting for coke in back alleys, Hunter. I know you're only 3, but
Oh, dude. So, yeah, you just threw me off there.
And don't take any money from the president's wife. Just
No.
live your life, man. Just be,
What?
just be a 3-year-old, okay?
Let me put you
Uh-huh.
in terms of recruitment.
Okay.
Video interviewing or a video from a potential hire to you. Again, not as owning a recruiting company, but now you're the dealer. Given a choice of now, obviously you're going to ultimately have a face-to-face, but what value, if any, do you see in receiving a video, even if it's 90 seconds long? Hey, here's who I am. I'm Craig Lockhart. I have kids. I have grandchildren. I've been in the automobile business X amount of years. I have a real passion for fly fishing, hunting,
That's cool.
and marbles. Whatever.
Yeah, you know what? That's cool.
Yeah.
I just don't want a video that's like 6 minutes long. I don't
Right.
have that much time for you to try to sell yourself to me.
Right.
Because now you've been talking for so long that you talked yourself out the deal.
Yeah. Good point. And
Do I have chocolate on my beard? Do you
no,
say-
sir. I don't think so.
Thank you.
No, it's a good beard too, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It takes some and that's not a low maintenance beard you got going on there. It
No,
takes
it's
some
not.
work, right?
Yeah.
What do you use to edge it?
That's so funny. Oh, to edge it.
Yeah.
What do I use? Oh, I just you know what? My barber has these golden clippers. His
Yeah.
clippers are gold
Yeah.
and they're wireless. My barber charged me $40 a haircut.
Yeah, I can believe that.
That's expensive, I think.
Yeah,
Think so?
Get what you pay for. You're
Yeah.
looking good, dude.
Thank you. I
You're
definitely
detailed for retail.
I definitely appreciate that. You gotta be. You
wash
gotta
it. You wash it and you get it dirty. You're
be. Right. It's very true.
Looking good never goes out of style.
No, it doesn't. It definitely doesn't.
Oh, well, there you have it.
And I like to look my best too. So
All right. And
yeah.
you can borrow any of those. Those
Thank
are,
you. I
those are
definitely-
classics.
I will.
All right.
I will for
Looking
sure.
good never goes out of style.
You know what I say is, us together, there's no competition.
There you go.
So I just
Yeah.
like to work with everyone.
Yep. Yeah. So, so video. What I hate is when we will one of our executive recruiters when they're talking to a potential hire, and every campaign's different, but in executive management positions, sales managers, service managers, and so forth, we ask for a video.
Mm-hmm.
But we specifically tell them, do not just, okay, and 8 years ago I was at ABC Motors and we increased business 8,000%, and then I was here and we increased. I mean, that's on your resume.
Yeah, like
So don't give me a video resume.
Right.
I want to know who you are as a man or a woman. I want
Right.
to know who I'm really getting
Right.
before I see you face to face.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense to you?
Yeah,
You
you just
agree with
want you just want to come on there and just say, hey, my name's John, and I've worked on Toyotas for 25 years, and my favorite thing to do is transmission or transmission work. I've got 3 kids, and we love to travel around the country in our RV.
There you go. Yeah.
That's it.
Right. Yeah. I want to know who you are as a person.
Right.
Because that's going to translate into, are you going to fit into the culture of my team, of my dealership?
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of culture, that's important, yes or no? I mean, right?
Culture is the most important thing. And once you get past culture, it's all a numbers game in business, period. And I think that's the hardest thing is the culture, because some will, some won't. So what? So
Yeah.
some will fit in, some won't fit in, so you just got to make sure there's a really good culture fit,
Right.
because you may have a dealership where everybody likes to listen to, this is the technician side. Country music is on blast 24/7, okay?
That's right.
Now you could be the best collision guy ever, but you hate country music. You're not going to fit in there
Yeah.
at all.
Good point. Yeah. That's funny. That's interesting you say that because you're spot on. That's very true. Ain't going to work.
No, it's not going to work.
It is not going to work in that store. There's no question about it.
Just
And
like
it's
that girl that broke my heart. I guess it's just not going to work.
Yeah. You sure you don't want to dox her and give out her name? Or
Real thugs need love too.
Yes.
Real thugs need hugs.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't call you a thug, dude.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
You might want to be. You might be a wannabe thug. But
Yeah,
that ain't
that's
gonna
very
happen.
true.
Yeah. So
That's a meme that I picked up somewhere.
culture is something that's used a lot. It's a term that's used a lot, and sometimes I've found in my journey in business and life that a lot of times, too often, it's used as a pitch or a hook, and there really is no culture at the store. Now, there will be a culture. The only problem is if you don't create it, it'll be created for you by your team members, and it's probably not going to be a culture that you really want to sign off on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be some sort of chaotic mess.
Yeah.
So you have to establish a real, well-defined culture. It's, in my opinion, and this is not earth-shattering, that you really don't need to, especially running a dealership, in my opinion, you really don't need to worry that much about how your customer's being treated if your team members, your employees, are being treated properly, professionally, being loved on,
Yeah.
being taken care of financially, emotionally. They
Because,
feel
like-
like they're in on things. They'll take care because they'll be so pumped about working for Dan Williams
Yes.
that they're just going to naturally treat their customers the way you want them treated.
And I say that all the time. That's why help people, help people, help people.
There you go.
Like typically they say like hurt people, hurt people, hurt people. That's
Yeah.
true. So,
Yeah.
if you help
Same
them,
way.
then they'll help people, Then you just have to figure out what is your team's need? What is their want? Everybody has a need, everybody has a want. And if you hold them accountable to achieving their need or their want, it could even be like a new living room set. It doesn't matter. If they're able to get that, then,
Yeah.
everything will be okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not ignoring you here. I'm trying to answer a question here.
Oh no,
on
I'm
the-
just saying
on the
that's
thing.
that's all managing is. And definitely, the worst thing about going to work with other people is you got those people that they talk about you behind your back. and like the water cooler conversations and all that stuff. Like they just keep up so much stuff. I always think to myself, like, there's always like somebody who goes home and tells their spouse about how much they don't like work. I'm pretty sure that they go to work and they tell their friends how much they don't like their husband or their wife.
Probably, right?
So yeah, everything's they're just so toxic.
Yeah, that's probably true.
That's one of the reasons I'm happy that I don't work in that type of atmosphere, because that just takes your mind away from just how you want to live your life when you always got like people like that around. I'm so happy that I don't deal with that, man, for real.
Where are you at with, like, in our business, so we'd like to always have the perfect candidate for our clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
All stars align.
Yeah, this one it's plug and play.
Yeah, plug and play.
It's got the guy's he or her spotless in their characters perfect. That's not real world, obviously.
No, it's not.
In the real world,
Mm-hmm.
we're dealing with some broken people.
Yeah.
Right? And it's been our experience that within reason, when you give that person that's had a couple bangs, bruises, dents in their life, you give that person a second, maybe even a third chance.
Mm-hmm.
It's been our experience that overwhelmingly the amount of time that person, if they have anything on the ball mentally at all,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to go, damn, this could be my last shot here. These people are giving me an opportunity. This one I'm not going to screw up.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? The second chances, taking that broken might be a little
No,
too
I
far, but
think that's true, because even me personally, man, like I was a bad alcoholic, man, and just drinking and partying and just wilding out. I would say those are the words for it, and just getting all types of trouble. And I realized, man, this can't happen again. I had to hit rock bottom before I could pull myself up, because I was always smart, always intelligent, so I was always holding on. So it really took for me to hit rock bottom. Truthfully, those might be the best people, because they were able to hold on for that long until they hit rock bottom.
Yeah, there's a Adam, if you could help me. We did this once before, and I forget the name of it, but there's a Japanese art form where they take broken vases, and they put them back together with gold, and they create a whole new form of art.
Right.
And those and Adam, if you can Google that thing, I forget what the hell the name of it is.
It's called, I'm probably going to say this wrong, but kintsugi.
Kintsugi? Right.
Kintsugi.
Okay, thanks. Awesome. So, yeah, it's, taking those broken pieces, putting them back together with gold to create a more beautiful object out of a broken object.
Right.
And I think in our line of work, and I think as a recruiter or a business owner, when you're sitting across from another man, another woman or a woman, and you're eyeball to eyeball, you have an opportunity to positively affect someone's life.
For sure.
That's had a bump or a bruise, or that is, in this case, we'll use the word broken. If you give that person a chance, man, a lot of times they're going to walk through brick walls for you, man. I mean, they really are. It's like, boss, you can count on me. You give me a shot. It's like, whatever you say, I'm in, and I'm going to produce, and I'm going to make you proud of me, and because you gave them that second chance, or that maybe, like I said, third chance. I mean, like somebody gave you that chance somewhere along the line, yes?
Yeah, for sure, most definitely.
Right. Me too. And it's like, the grace of God and some anonymous people group. I've been sober over 27 years, and it's like there ain't no reason.
Right.
If I got what I really deserve, you and I would not be sitting here right now. So, I mean, I got a break, and people gave me shots where I did not deserve it.
I'm just happy I didn't die.
Yeah, right.
You know, because
Ditto.
I got so many friends that are just dead just from, just all types of stuff, and it's just it's so weird. Well, it's not weird. I'm just happy I didn't die by the grace of God. That first step is the hardest step, and once you get past that first step, everything else is easier, in my opinion. And then I actually had a sponsor who I had to end up firing him, man, because he was just too concerned, him in politics. He just he couldn't have a conversation. He was just one-sided. He couldn't see different sides and how other people thought, so I ended up firing him. But he was a really good sponsor when it came to AA,
Right.
and I needed him in my life at that particular point in time, and he helped me out a lot, so shout out to him.
Right.
And
You ever go to any meetings down in Akron?
do you know what? I've been to Founders Day.
Oh,
was at
isn't that awesome? Well,
Yeah.
Guess what? My date, June 10th, is my sobriety date,
It is?
and that's Founders Day. That's when Dr. Bob and Bill Wilson met at the Sieberling Gates in Akron.
Yeah, and I've been in the house, in the basement, upstairs, and everything.
Yeah. That's awesome. Founders Day is awesome, where they have the big arena and they start with, what do they start at? 6 months, a month sober or whatever.
To
and
whoever's got the most,
yeah,
like
and it's up to
100 years.
50 years, and it's
Yeah.
like, wow.
Yeah.
I've had 5 sponsors die on me. Because it was like, luckily I was smart enough, barely, to go, there'd be some guy my age, with 2 years sobriety. And typically, you think, well, I'd be able to relate to him and this and that. Luckily, I did not go that way.
Yeah.
I found the crustiest, nastiest, meanest old guy in the place
Yeah.
that had been sober, 30 years. Is like, figure, well, okay, I'm going to ask him.
Yeah, because he even needs it the most, and that's why
There you go.
why he's still there.
There you go.
So man.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, man. AA is really serious. It could definitely save your life.
Yeah, it saved
for
mine.
real.
It
It saved my life too.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking the right way.
Yeah.
And I used to take a lot of stuff for granted too. And
Well, I got sober
No,
out
you
here. I had bouts of sobriety, if you would,
Yeah.
when I lived in Ohio, and then I'd be sober for 10, 12 months, and I'd start drinking again, and the chaos that ensues when something like that happens, and then I finally got sober out here. And I went to they call them clubhouses out here. They're 24/7.
yeah.
And dude, when I tell you I went to 120, 130 meetings in my first 90 days, that's like no exaggeration. I lived there.
Yeah.
And I walked into this place and they were hardcore, hard ass. Like I come in there all suited up and they were all over me. Like, you ain't no big deal here, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
right?
empty ashtrays, put away chairs, make coffee.
Shake hands at the door.
Right.
Yeah.
You sit down, shut up, and listen. You ain't got nothing to say.
Yep.
And,
Yeah.
and it was like, okay. And we only talk about alcohol here, not drugs. So if you want to talk about drugs, go
yeah.
somewhere else. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the way this place was.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, that's exactly what I needed. Anything else would have not been, wouldn't have worked.
Right. I needed the same thing, and I feel like I really found myself, like who I was, I kind of feel like even with the drinking, spirits, like that's what they call alcohol, and I really had like another spirit
Yeah.
in me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't even the me that I am today.
Yes.
I'm just happy that I'm the me I'm supposed to be. But for 2 years straight, I went to AA every single day. And just like you said, sometimes I go twice a day.
Yep.
But I definitely went every day,
Right.
because I knew that I had to like double down on it, that I needed
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I am right now with Forex, which is kind of hard. Do you know what Forex is?
I
A
do
foreign
not.
exchange market?
I don't.
So one of my friends got me signed up for this MLM, which I already wanted to join the MLM because I want to make friends and all. To be between me and you, really, I talk about business 24/7 for real. Probably like LeBron James in basketball. That's how much I talk about business. And I wanted to join the MLM because I just wanted to be around like-minded individuals. So this particular MLM, it's called I Am Academy, and it's like $275 to join. Or no, it's I think it's $375 to join, $175 a month. I just signed up for it a couple weeks ago. And what you do with this group is that you trade on the foreign exchange, market or whatever, And I'm like, man, I'm not going to be good at this initially, so I'm really about to start wasting this $200 a month for like a year, So yeah, that's just how it was. AA that taught me that it takes time to actually learn new things when you really need to learn it.
Yeah.
So
It's funny. You hear guys talk about that gets people in trouble. It's like, man, guy's got 10 years sobriety, and you haven't drank for 45 days, and it's like, I want 10 years sobriety. It's like, well, okay, well, it is one day at a time, dude. And then you can't be 10 years sober 45 days in. It is literally one day at a time. That's the only way to do it.
It's definitely one day at a time, and eventually, like that thirst goes away, but it still comes back, and you still have to just use the tools in your toolbox.
Yeah, every once in a while, 3 or 4 times a year, I'll find it just jump into my brain from nowhere. It'd be a hot summer day, and I'll be working in a yard or something, get done, but boy, it'd be nice to have a nice cold beer right now. And and I literally now just I laugh. It's like,
right. Me too.
Right, dude? Like, give me a beer, and you might as well call a SWAT team.
Me too.
There's gonna be.
I just tell people I'm allergic to alcohol and just leave it at that.
I use the same thing, man.
Yeah, that way they don't
I'm
even
allergic.
I just say, man, I'm allergic to alcohol. I can't drink. I'll die.
That's
because that's the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. I say the same thing. They say, "What do you mean allergic?" Yeah, I turn into an asshole. It's like, it's like, yeah, I can't. Don't if you give me alcohol, call a SWAT team.
I know.
There'll be trouble.
Speaking of that, I still go out to places where people drink, but I don't hang around there the whole time.
Right.
I don't come home at 2:00 in the morning anymore. 2, 3, 4 in the morning.
It's funny, you don't get as much trouble either, do you?
No, I don't get in any trouble. Thank God. For real.
Yeah. You're out 2:00 in the morning at a club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something bad is going to happen.
Unless you're in Vegas, then it's kind of like or unless it's like Mardi Gras, New Orleans, or something like that. It's kind of normal. But if you're just in Cleveland, Ohio,
yeah, 2 in the morning, that's trouble.
January 3rd,
right,
2 in the morning.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
Yeah,
but that used to be life, though.
I know. But like you said, when people start close talking to you. That's when they've had a few too many. That's when I make my exit. It's like, okay, gotta go. See ya.
Right, when you can smell it on their breath, and they're like,
I'm done. Because they start lying and and saying stuff they shouldn't. That's time for me to exit, man. I'm out.
I just try to make sure I get there to network, see what's going on, shake some hands, and then peace out. Then I'm out of there. Yeah, for real.
Where's your company going? What's your vision for Solomon and Abraham and Associates? Where do you see this thing? I don't know, 6 months from now, a year, 3, 5. What's your ultimate outcome? What are you looking to do?
Right now, I am looking to own this particular niche, the automotive niche, or at least, I'll be honest, these next 2 years I just want to stay in business, and then from there, I just want to keep scaling the business, and then possibly selling to private equity in about 7 or 11 years, something like that. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I thought about that probably 20 years ago. It's like, I'm going to build this thing up and then sell it off, and it's like and that just never happened. And then luckily my oldest son, who's I have 4 kids, and they're all brilliant, they're all awesome, but my oldest son was he graduated with a couple degrees from the University of Akron, actually. A very smart young man, and came to me probably a temporary job, had really no interest in following in his father's footsteps, and just something to do until he found something better. Excuse me. And about, I don't know, what was it, maybe 4 years ago, I gave him a financial piece of the business. My original, the first trainer I hired is still with me. Ernie Kasperwitz, he's a minority partner and general manager. And then I made Joe a minority partner here and director of operations. But he took this thing to a whole nother level. So it's interesting because I would have cashed out, probably if he hadn't have really, but he just totally changed and is totally into it and made some life changes and so forth. And getting married and have three daughters probably did that to him a little bit too.
Oh man, that's great.
Kind of motivates you. Yeah, it's cool being a grandfather. You got a ways to go on that, but man, I'm telling you what.
Yeah, hopefully I got a ways to go. The way this kid is acting.
You got to watch him.
Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's way cooler than having kids. Sorry, kids, but
right,
being a grandparent's pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah, I definitely even see how like my mom is with my youngest son. So I know it's really good. It's also good to have grandparents too, because grandparents will do what your parents won't do.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yep. That is spot on, man. So you've been, and I'm sorry, and you said, and I think I talked over you. What part of Cleveland?
I'm from the Lakeshore area.
Okay.
Around like Lakeshore, St. Clair, around that part.
East side.
Yeah, East side, East 152nd.
Yeah. It's funny for people not from the area. It's like, East side, West side. It's kind of like Chicago, North side, South side, or it's that's kind of how you designate things in Cleveland.
I love Chicago, man.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, for real.
Excuse me. I used to like it. A couple times at opportunities, I stay at the Hyatt, and out the front window you could see, which I guess are closed or bankrupt, but Lord and Taylor was right there. Is where I used to stay. And what's it called? Miracle Mile, or what's that called in Chicago? Where all the heavy duty big ticket stores are.
Isn't it Miracle Mile, Millionaire Mile?
It's something like that.
But I know exactly what you're talking about.
I actually went to
Lollapalooza.
Oh, crap. Is it called the Cotton Club in Chicago? Me and my date, her and I went to, was it called no. I don't know. Well, we get picked up by, we take a cab. There was no Uber back then. We take a cab, and this guy was, I think he was Iranian. And we tell him where we want to go. He goes, I'm not going to butcher the accent, but he goes, that's black. It's all black club. You should be careful. I said, dude, you're from Iran.
Right.
You're Iranian.
Right.
Throwing bombs at us, and you're telling me to,
right.
I think I'll be okay.
Right.
Thanks for your concern, but I'm more concerned about being in this cab with you than I am walking into a black bar.
Yeah,
so.
During that time, you're just happy that the taxi didn't blow up.
Yeah, right. but yeah, Chicago's pretty cool. But man, I tell you what, it's fun. Cleveland is, and I've been through it all with, the river caught on fire a million years ago.
You were there for that?
Yeah, I lived. Because I grew up on the far east side, like not even
Geauga, right?
Yeah.
I used to go to Geauga Lake all the time. You remember that Geauga Lake?
You bet, sure do.
Turtle Beach.
Yeah, man.
I used to love Geauga Lake, man.
Geauga Lake was pretty cool. And then I went to, what was the amusement park, the real old one, right on the east side of Cleveland? Maybe in Euclid?
The Euclid Beach Park.
Euclid Beach.
That's where I'm from, around there.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That was awesome, man.
Yeah, that's what my mom used to tell me. Like, everybody used to go there.
That's right.
I can't believe it was just right down the street. There's an amusement park.
Yeah, it was cool. And when I went, it was getting pretty run down. Because I'm assuming it's torn down now. But
yeah, it's torn down, but they still have the arches.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, and then they built a McDonald's there. And now they tore that McDonald's down. That area is pretty dilapidated.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it does. Bad. It does for real.
Yeah, Cleveland's come a long way, man.
Cleveland is the reason I'm cool, to be honest. But,
there you go.
But Cleveland, I think I've outgrown Cleveland. I don't want to be a big fish in a small pond. I don't want to think. I want to think big. I don't want to just think Cleveland.
Well, with what we do, it can be done from anywhere.
Yeah, it can be done
I mean,
anywhere.
You live anywhere.
Yeah, but I want to go to like the Philippines or something maybe for a year. I want to just hit a couple different spots and
That's
stay there
interesting.
for a year. I want to travel around the world, to be honest, and I just want to enjoy my life and make memories. And that's the best part about this job. I can travel wherever and I just use my phone, and laptop. But I just don't want to stay in Cleveland, and I don't want to stay someplace that's cold. When I only have one life to live, I don't want to spend 6 months out of every year in the frigid air.
People have no clue unless you've lived there. People have no clue what those winters are like.
And I feel sorry for the people that have to go to work, truthfully, in that type of weather. I mean, go to work and punch the clock because, it's like your boss yells at you. You get to work late because everything that's going on. Then you come home and then what do? Yell at your dog?
Yeah, dude, I can remember.
And then they create a Facebook group.
I can remember selling cars. I grew up on a farm in Chesterland.
Now, did you guys have cows on that farm?
We did not. It was a dairy farm a long time ago, but we had horses, ponies, pig.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. We baled hay. We had a huge cornfield. So, I mean, it was like it was a gentleman's farm, but it was a legit working farm as well. Could have made it that way. The backstory on this farm, my dad was in the car business, and he ran a Cadillac dealership. It's now called Crestmont Cadillac there in Beechwood. When he ran it, was called Conway Cadillac. And one of his clients was a gentleman by the name of Alonzo Wright. At the time, one of the richest African Americans in the country. This guy owned, he owned an abundance, he had a monopoly on all the Standard Oil gas stations from Pittsburgh to Detroit.
I thought you were going to say crack.
No. And this was one of his homes was his farm. So my dad sold him all his Cadillacs. So when we moved into this place, I mean, this is just a crazy story, but I go up in the attic, and there was a bunch of junk in there, and I'm going through this box. There's a trophy in there. I look at this trophy. It was so filthy. I wipe it off. It was presented to Jesse Owens, Glenville High School, the year before the Berlin Olympics, which was, I think it was 1936. So this was 34, 35, while Jesse Owens was still in high school. So Jesse Owens used to work on Mr. Wright's farm, the farm that I grew up on.
Yes.
When he was a kid. It was kind of pretty interesting. Somewhere along the line, this trophy would be worth a crap load of money right now.
Yeah,
and I have no idea what happened to it. None whatsoever. An ex-wife maybe got it. I'm not quite sure, but somehow it ended up missing. But
now let's talk about ex-wives. Man.
Yeah.
How many ex-wives do you have?
2.5.
2.5? Man.
One I was married a very, very short time. It was in the worst of my drinking, right before I quit drinking.
Right.
But the mother of my children for a while, and then this crazy person for very, very, like months, a couple, and then a third here in New Jersey that I met. That was a bad choice, but yeah.
I wonder, will I ever get married?
Yeah.
Like, I never been married, so.
Haven't you?
No, but I got 3 kids. I got 3 kids. I got 3 baby mamas, I guess you would call it.
3 different.
Yes, 3 different.
That's got to be a challenge, dude.
That's definitely a challenge. What was my problem? I was tripping. But
I guess.
Yeah, most definitely.
How long you been sober, man? If you don't mind me asking.
I've been sober for about 3 years. So I'm not even that same person who the first one I am. The same person now that I was then, but the other 2, no, I'm not even.
Right.
Right. And I think that's the thing. Like, what do they say in AA? Like, you held them hostage in your addiction. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And that's what I did, because for real, I'm not even attracted to him right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even that person who.
Right. Yes.
Like my mom just asked me that the other day, like what I think about getting back with my son's mom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
God, no. You know what I mean?
It's interesting, and I can give you a little fatherly advice here. Don't wait a long time. The longer you're single, the more, like at this point in my life, like even over the last 5 years, it's like, you know what? Nah, I'm not, it's just, I'm pretty self-sufficient. Well, that's not entirely true. I have an amazing assistant, that personal and business assistant and friend, who actually comes from the Philippines, actually. And she just, without her, I'd be screwed. But getting married again, man, being married is hard.
What's the hardest part?
Just the communication, the staying friends, overcoming issues, problems.
Sounds like sales.
Yeah, right. A little bit. It ain't easy. It's just, in my experience, you have that, and it is like sales or like business. You're never going to like that new hire employee more than the first week or two they start working for you.
Yeah.
That's as good as it's going to get a lot of times. And in a marriage, you go through that head over heels in love. And she's so hot, so perfect, and you don't see any of the flaws, right?
Right.
And then the flaws start, and then you, unfortunately, you start.
Like, how many times can she cook chicken in a week? I didn't even know they made this many chickens. Like, what do I got to do for a steak? Like, you really got to go back to that farm that you grew up on and kill a cow.
Dude, you
go to China and buy a clone cow.
You need somebody. You need to work out a deal. You need to find somebody like.
Gotta work on a deal.
You get like what I have. I mean, all my meals are cooked for me, and so I don't have to think about that.
Do you meal prep?
Yeah, I don't. She does it for me.
Right.
My assistant cooks all my food.
See, that's why I
buys it, cooks it. All I got to do is heat it up and eat it. And I'm a straight carnivore diet. I eat nothing but meat.
Oh yeah,
steak, chicken.
So you don't eat
fish.
any like green stuff?
Nothing.
Are you serious?
Yep. I get it all through supplements. Actually, speaking of MLM, there's a multi-level marketing company that I got involved with 1,000,000 years ago called Univera, and they have a product, and I don't participate in it anymore, but I use the product. I have for 15 years.
It's a supplement,
Excuse me. Yeah, it's a liquid. It's called Ageless Extra, and it has every fruit and vegetable you can possibly imagine.
Oh, you gotta check that out.
In the drink itself.
I love supplements.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I wish that there was just a supplement I could take and not have to worry about eating. But then my teeth would fall out from, like, I would evolve and I wouldn't have teeth anymore. You know what I mean? But like, I feel like eating just takes up too much time. You ever feel like that?
Yes, sir. I do, and I have forgotten meals.
Yeah,
it's
me
like,
too.
oh crap, it's 6 o'clock at night. I haven't eaten. That's why I'm being so weird right now.
Yeah,
I gotta eat.
Man, that happens with age too. Like if you don't eat when you get older, you really do get like cranky. Because I'm starting to see that too myself.
That's a fact.
What's your favorite restaurant ever?
Favorite restaurant ever? Wow, that's a really good question. I've had the opportunity to eat in some pretty cool places. I dated a girl for a while that was from Quebec, and she was a French model, so we went to Paris a couple times. So I've eaten in some really cool places all over the world, actually. But I like local places, man. There's a place in Atlantic City. You dig this place. It's called Chef Vola's. They have no
Italian?
They have no sign, no phone. You can't make reservations.
It's in the basement.
It's in a basement of a house, and it's the family, and you basically have to be invited to eat there. You have to know somebody that knows them, or know somebody that knows them to be able to eat there.
That's definitely my type of spot.
It is
for sure,
dude. and we have that connection. Next time you're out here,
Yeah.
let me know, and we'll go there. You'll dig it. And
All right,
it's-
for sure.
It's got like zero decor, but I'm telling you, the food,
Mm-hmm.
it's like something your mom would cook, and it would be like your favorite meal. Like, Mom,
Oh yeah.
you know what I like.
Well, my mom can't cook, but I
Oh,
understand.
well, that sucks.
She's gonna be mad.
Yeah.
But you know what? My favorite restaurant, to be honest, I'm gonna say it's Applebee's.
Yeah, I saw a post.
Yeah, just post
You
that.
made it a post about Applebee's.
Man,
Did you
I
not?
love Applebee's, man.
It's a good value.
Sunday, Applebee's is so nostalgic. And you know what? I really just like Applebee's. Now, I don't know. See, here's the thing. I don't know if it's the smell of the steak. I don't know
Could
if
be.
that's a spray that they put on there.
Don't know.
You know,
Their
or-
steak ain't horrible though.
It's not, is it?
No, it's not.
It's something about that steak, man. For real.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. There's one right by my house. I used to eat there a lot. Yeah. But for a chain, I don't hate it at all. I'd rather have Morton's probably or Ruth Chris, but
Yeah, Ruth Chris or Morton's. But you
Yeah.
know what? See, this is what, and I'm going to go back to Baby Mama stuff. I can't afford Ruth Chris every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
for real, Ruth Chris.
Yeah.
Just like I went to Catch Steak in New York. Have you been there?
No, sir.
They got a Catch also in LA, but it's so expensive.
yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, things like that, they're good.
Yeah.
You know, but right now, me and business are not good with that. You know what I'm saying? So just give me a little bit of time and let me be able to afford to eat there whenever I want to eat there. And then I'll like it more.
What's it like now in Ohio, and specifically in Cleveland? Indoor eating, is that open? The
They're-
governor?
They
open that
are
or-
doing indoor eating, outdoor eating. Sundays, Browns game, you got to wear your mask to get in. And then by the time you get in, it's a party.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it's mask on to get in,
Okay.
mask off when you're in there.
Right. Well, there's no
For
way
real.
to drink and eat. You know, I mean, that mask is coming off.
I
most
mean,
of
there's
the
people
game.
walking around and everything, you know, that's Sundays.
Yeah.
But every other day, I mean, you know what? The bar and club owners in Cleveland, they just do whatever they want to do. you know?
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They do whatever they want to do until the police come and tell them to stop.
Yeah.
Every day, though, they just keep doing it until the police make, because I guess they're gonna have to close their business if they don't.
Yeah.
If they don't do it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough.
Yeah. So Browns first with you, then what? Cavs and the Indians, or
I'm gonna say Indians first.
Oh yeah.
Indians, Cavs, then the Browns.
What there
I
is-
kind of fell out of love with football.
Yeah.
And I just feel like football got a little fake. Colin Kaepernick, he ruined football a little bit for me. I
Me
don't
too,
understand
dude.
why he did that, but it was dumb. You know, you don't. I'm not a fan of Kaepernick at all. You know,
Yeah.
for real. Just to be honest, I feel like Kaepernick. I feel like he was afraid of getting hit. He couldn't take getting hit anymore. I feel like he did a backdoor deal with Nike. I know that Nike that they want to be, their mission is to be the #1 sports business in the world. So everybody is in competition with Nike. You know, even like they may have a partnership with the NFL, but they're still in competition with them, you know? So they're obviously going to do a deal with Colin Kaepernick to, you know, shake things up. I just feel like he was afraid of getting hit. You don't kneel. And here's the thing, the whole, you know, Black Power thing, Black Lives Matter, I could understand standing and being proud, but when you kneel, you're kneeling almost like kneel and kiss the ring. So you're making yourself look weaker by kneeling. That's just what I think. And also, we're American. And also, at the end of the day, when he gets that check, where does he deposit that check at? Probably U.S. Bank, Bank of America. You know, if somebody steals money out of his checking account, who does he depend on? The FDIC. So if you're really going to do this, tell the NFL, don't pay me. Give all your money away. You know, do something like that, but just don't kneel and then,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I don't got time for that shit.
Yeah.
Just being honest, man. I'm
Yeah,
just going to be honest.
yeah,
He ruined football for me.
Well, it's interesting you say that. It's, you know, it's a love-hate with LeBron. It's you know, in my opinion, because I got to watch. I'm old enough to where, I mean, I watched everything Michael Jordan. I mean, like, you know,
Yeah.
So I've watched him a zillion times, and I've watched you know, when you live in Ohio, I mean, you know LeBron from the time he's 15 years old. I mean, it was like it's
for
just
sure.
like, you know, he's one of us. So, and just in my opinion, and obviously it's arguable to the end of time, in my opinion, I've never seen anyone play basketball like this guy. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like nobody. Like,
Even at 36 right now.
Yeah,
He's a
like-
beast. He's an animal.
yeah, I mean, you can name them all. You can name
Yeah.
Kobe. You can name
No, he's
Jordan. And I love the fact, you know, what's it called, the I Promise School or whatever it
Yeah,
is in Akron.
yep.
I mean, that's a big move, man. I mean, that's a strong, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And he's done a lot of good things. And he kept his promise. I mean, it's
He's
like
classy.
fairy tale, man. I'm coming back to Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm coming home. That was like that was awesome. And then, you know, down 3-1, he brings a title back to Cleveland, and then, you know,
That was a little weird, that down 3-1 thing too.
Unbelievable.
You know?
Like,
Sportsman's
fairy
rigged.
tale. But man,
Yeah.
his politics are, wow, just
Yeah.
he's just so far left. It's
Well, you
just-
know, he has to play to his market.
I guess, man.
At the
I
end of the day,
guess
it's all business, you know, and
I just wish some of these guys, and the entertainers, celebrities, I wish they just, you know, the things that happen, whether it be George Floyd or Breonna Taylor or, you know, what go on and on and on and on. Anyone's life, loss of life is horrible, without question. I just wish guys like LeBron or whomever, and especially celebrities, just before you put out that tweet, just let things unfold for a couple days. Just let's make sure of what really, 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 really happened.
really happened.
Not just what the narrative that the mainstream media puts out there. Just let's look at the evidence just a couple days before you know, make the protest that turns into a riot that, you know, causes so many problems. Just take a step back and just wait for a minute, and let's see how this thing plays out. See you know, what really happened in some of these situations, you know, or the God, I forgot.
I can see where he was impulsive, but I've had the police have had their knee on my back, you know, not on my neck.
I
But,
know it.
And I mean, I'm happy I'm not dead, you know, but also,
Yeah. See, that's a real thing. See, my grandson's biracial, and it's like it's unfortunate, and he's about to get his driver's license, and I have to have that conversation with him. That, like, dude, here's what you have to do because of the color of your skin.
right.
I mean, like, it's real. That's not a.
Can I tell you a story? The
please.
first time a police officer ever pulled their now listen, I say first time. The first time police officer ever pulled a gun on me with their finger on the trigger.
Oh, shit.
We were coming from a party in East Cleveland. The name of the club was the Q5. We were in a van.
How old were you?
I was 17 years old. The police officer literally had a gun pointed at my face, dead on me, finger on the trigger. If anybody in that van would have moved wrong, I would be a memory right now. Yeah. So just knowing that, and we were kids, you know, my son, 14 years old, he got caught smoking weed. The police, they pulled out guns on him at 14.
No shot.
So this is the life that we live being African American.
Yeah.
But also the majority of African Americans grow up in poverty and in, you know, drug-ridden places and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they're more privy to getting the police called on them, and, you know, then when the police come,
Yeah.
you know, the police do certain things that, you know, are toxic.
Yep.
And it's very dangerous. But I can say right now, being sober, now I was sober back then, but now I kind of look at things. But I've had other run-ins with the police, but now I kind of look at things differently, because I'm like, would that have happened to this person if they were sober? Would this person have died? Would this person have gotten killed? Would this person have gotten shot?
Yeah, I guess that's my point. One of my points. Yeah.
But then Breonna Taylor, she was just asleep. And then I remember the movie Colors. You ever seen that movie Colors?
Yes.
Pac-Man. I remember when they came into the house, the dude was reaching for his pants, reaching for his belt. They shot and they killed him, you know, and then, the sad music comes on or whatever. And it's like, damn, they killed him. He was reaching for his pants. Breonna Taylor was just asleep. And she used to work for, like, who did she work for, the state or something? I know she wore a badge to work every day.
Yeah.
So everything is just, man, all I can say is that you never know what's going to happen. But I know one thing, man, being black in America, it's dangerous. So you have to adjust the way you maneuver and handle yourself. And it's a shame that it's like that. But you just have to know the game that you're in, and you have to play accordingly. And that's all you can do. My stepdad always told me to know my personnel. So as long as I know my personnel, nobody can let me down, and I'll always be able to maneuver through life,
Mm-hmm.
So I just take that advice, and I just try to maneuver through life the right way.
Yeah.
But I don't know, in a situation like Breonna Taylor, that's strange to me because she was asleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. To this day, I mean, that thing just is ongoing and ongoing and ongoing. I don't know, man. I know one thing. Defunding the police is not the answer. Literally, that would be a big mess.
Yeah, if people think it's bad now, it'll get even worse.
Yeah.
Defund the police
Who
may
you gonna
turn
call?
into the biggest criminals for all you think about it. They'll be like, all right, so now we can just do whatever we want to do now.
Well, these guys, they have to be better recruiters.
Uh-huh.
They have to pick better talent,
Mm-hmm.
and then they got to be trained better. I mean, there's there's
Psychoanalysis.
ways to
You
get
gotta analyze these guys.
de-escalate some of these situations, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to have your knee on the back of a guy's neck for 8 minutes.
I mean, that's murder.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and see, then there's a whole backstory to that. They obviously
Sure.
know each other.
Yeah.
He was high off
fentanyl,
fentanyl.
yeah.
Was it a fake $20 bill?
Right.
What's really
Right.
what's really real and what's
Right.
really fake.
Right. Yeah.
You
And
know?
that's what I'm saying. Like, people should take a step back and, like,
Yeah.
before I let it rip, let me just get all the evidence here.
Yeah.
Let me make sure.
Everybody's not political.
Yeah.
Everybody's not a politician, but people look up to these athletes and these actors and artists, and they look to them, for guidance.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I'm totally drawing a blank. What was the guy's name? I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on this. The guy that they shot, 7, 8 times. He had gone to see his girl.
and they shot him in the back.
Raped her. Yeah.
Yep.
What's that guy's name, dude?
I don't know his name,
Geez, this was the last one. But I mean, this guy.
but his situation too. Why was he not? Why, when the police told him to get down or whatever, why was he going back to the car to say he was checking on his child
Right.
when he should already
Right.
have? See, common sense should tell him that the police might kill me. They're killing these people. I see it on TV. It's televised. But then the police officer shooting him in the back.
Not a good look.
That's not a good look. And the police officer obviously shot him in the back because he was afraid,
Yes.
And then I don't understand why the police, they like shoot 8, 9, 10 times.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot,
Yeah. Well,
but obviously they're trained. This is all learned behavior.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Well, they talk about they teach them to empty your clip.
Yeah.
But there was a video where a guy, I'm not even sure the color of the guy, not that it matters, but where they told this guy to stop. He didn't stop. He kept coming after him. The
I just saw
officer
that.
shot him.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, the guy wouldn't stop coming,
Right.
and he just kept hitting him, and the guy wouldn't stop.
What about, did you just see the civilian kill the one guy who sprayed him with mace?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what's going on, man, with these people. I'm just happy. I'm not living my life on this weird shit. They're all pawns also between me and you and everybody listening.
lot of time, man.
This is all pawn type
Yeah.
stuff that I wouldn't even be involved in, with any
Yeah.
type of action. I may be there and watch it, where I may just watch it on TV, but I will never take action because, this is very low level type of things.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen.
This is very petty stuff, you
Yeah.
know? Like you running around, you set fire to a police car, what does that do?
Yeah.
I mean, that police officer's been dying for a scat pack. What
Right.
do you mean? You know what I mean? He couldn't wait for you to set that car on fire. There is something called insurance, but now, they got you, your cell phone, they know your location, they got you, they know it was you. Now you go to jail,
Yeah.
You're so dumb.
Yeah.
Like, what do people think?
Well, one thing it's doing is people are moving out of cities left and right, man. And I would assume, unfortunately, Cleveland is, one time Cleveland really did rock.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the Fisher Body Plant.
Best location in the nation, what my granddad says.
Right. And,
Now it's horrible.
Right, yeah. And it can only, and they've tried and tried and tried with new buildings and
the
so
weather.
forth. The weather sucks.
It is. It's the weather, and you see the same. Man, before the corona started, I used to see the same people downtown every day on the same walk through to work. And there's no way being downtown I should see the same people in the same routine
That's a good
every
point.
day.
No.
And then you know how I used to how I used to
Good point.
socialize and bond with people over the bums. Like, oh, you know that bum? The one who's like, yeah, I know him. And then that's how we become friends over
That's
talking
weird.
about the bums that we have in common downtown. You know?
That sucks.
And then they got East 4th, which is like a fake, super fake wannabe like Bourbon Street, not even. And the bums just crowd that East 4th,
Huh. Yeah, I haven't been downtown there in a while.
And then they got Tower City. I hear they're going to put like more expensive stores down there to try to attract a better crowd.
Yeah.
But then they got the casino right next to it. There's
Right.
just nothing but like bums out there.
How is that casino? Is it anything? Is it
Yeah,
cool or no?
I've been before. It's cool. It's
Yeah.
not like a real casino though.
No.
If you can't smoke cigarettes in there, it's not a real casino to me. I don't
Oh,
even smoke cigarettes, but I'm just saying, like, if you can't smoke cigarettes, it's not real to me. If drinks aren't free and you can't smoke cigarettes, it's not a real casino.
That's a fact.
But there's money to be made, so it is
That's
what it is.
interesting. That's a funny way to look at it, but you're probably spot on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, if you can't smoke, it ain't a casino.
Because you know what? I used to always go to Detroit. I used to go to Detroit a lot. And, I used to work in the field in sales. So I spent a lot of time in the field in different locations like Chicago. I stayed in Chicago for quite some time, Northwest and Augusta, on the northwest side of Chicago, which is fun. I love Chicago. Man, I just love everything about Chicago. That's how I wish Cleveland would be.
Yeah.
But obviously it doesn't have the money that Chicago has because
Right.
Chicago even has their own stock exchange,
Yeah.
So we don't have that at all.
No.
Cleveland just needs something besides sports because when all we have is the Browns, there's nothing to do in Cleveland but drink. And I just know like there's a lot of people who are overweight in Cleveland and also depressed because of, the weather.
Yeah.
That's why people can't wait for for it to be hoodie season so they could cover up the parts that they're ashamed of.
Dude, I've thought about this a lot. I can remember one year, my birthday's October 28th, and I remember having a snowstorm where my mom had to call, I was a kid, so my mom had to call the parents and say, okay, we're canceling the party. October, right?
Yeah.
Now, years later, it was my oldest son's birthday. His birthday is the April 25th. We're going to go to an Indians game.
It snowed.
Snowed. That's 6 full months.
Guess what? It's the last day it snowed this year was May 6th.
Get out. Is that right?
Yeah,
May
May 6th.
6th.
Then May 25th was when it really started getting like super warm. And it's something about that weather, man, and like I said before, it's nothing to do but just eat and drink in Cleveland. And that,
true.
Once you don't do that anymore heavy, then
That's
there's
true.
nothing really to do.
No, there isn't. And it gets worse as you go south, Akron and then Canton.
Yeah.
Because, I spent my one daughter's in Canton, in Akron rather now. She was in North Canton for a while. My ex-wife's in North Canton. And then I have my oldest daughter lives in Columbus. And it's like Columbus is a whole different animal. Columbus is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's okay, but it's still Ohio.
Yeah, right. That's exactly right. And like you said, there's not much to do.
No.
It's pretty interesting because a lot of places didn't like this, where you can go into a gas station, convenience store, and buy beer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's pretty.
You can do that in Ohio.
A little counterintuitive there. It's
You
like,
can do it in Chicago too, though. You could buy alcohol, I think, at Walgreens.
yeah, was that right?
Yeah.
Well, they have drive-throughs in Ohio. Where drive-throughs where you can buy liquor
Right. Yeah.
in your car.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
like, what are you going to do with that? You know,
Yeah.
You're going to crack it open.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have a DUI.
You're gonna have a DUI for sure.
Yeah.
Even being 18, we were like, man, what do we do? Oh, we're just gonna get somebody to go to the liquor store for us and buy us a bottle of Bombay, and we're just gonna ride around and drink. Like what? That's what we did. So but Ohio, man, it's still Cleveland is still the best location in the nation because my family is there.
Yeah.
And I got a granddad who's 86 years old.
Ah, God bless him.
Yeah, I love him so much. He's really one of the most intelligent people that I know. And I just like to sit by him and just learn so many things from him, and things that I really didn't used to pay attention to when I was younger. And now, like, I hold on to these memories that I'm making with him right now.
Yeah. Well, embrace that, man, because when I had a grandfather similar to that, and man, I wish he was still here, because it's like I mean, his wisdom and so forth, and just that's and you don't fully realize it. Sounds like you do, but most people don't fully realize it until it's too late and they're gone, and it's like,
man, you're
dang.
absolutely right. And I'm very happy that I do have him in my life. I'm happy I got him in my life. I'm happy I got my mom in my life, my children, everything. I'm happy with my position in life so far. Yeah. And I'm just trying to scale and just make it better. So,
where do you think you got your entrepreneurial mindset from? Where did that come from? How did that happen?
That came from my granddad, because when I was 11, my granddad was an electrician, and I used to go to work with him every day in the summer. Then when I got a little bit older, he would pay me, and he would give me like $50 a day. And I was like 12, 13. My granddad was giving me $50 a day.
Shoot.
Yeah.
For what?
To work with him.
No
And
kidding.
I would just like pass tools and stuff like that and just talk to him and, just whatever. You know what I mean? And he was paying me, and that's just where I got it from, And also growing up, you think like money's indispensable. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I just got my work ethic from both my grandparents, though. My grandmother used to work all the time. My grandmother was really good with business, as far as my granddad's business with the finances, and my granddad was just a really hard worker. And my granddad, like I'll say, like, was a man's man and took care of the household. He was respected. He was respected at church. And that's just like the same type of guy that I wanted to be, So
yeah, it's good to have. It's so important to have role models like that can help mentor you and you pay attention to and learn from, even through osmosis. It's like, even when, again, looking back, it's like there are things today in my life, and like, I'm going to be 69 years old, which blows my mind. But it's like,
I would think that you were about like 47, to be honest.
God bless you, dude.
52 at the most.
You just cracked my top 10 favorite people. Thank
We
you.
got to go to that Vola's. Voila.
Chef Vola's, yeah.
Yeah, Chef Vola.
Yeah, seriously. You're back out east. You go to Atlantic City, and it's I'll get that set up. You blow your mind. It is major great food. But there's a lot of joints like that. I tell you, Philly, you got to look for. I'm sorry, you got to look for a bad. You got to really seek out a bad meal in Philadelphia. It's almost impossible. There's great eating down here, and in Atlantic City too, with all the casinos and every place. And the mom and pop places are the best. Mm-hmm. There's a place called the Oyster House in Atlantic City. Been there a million years. It's just terrific.
Yeah, I've heard of that before.
Yeah, it's just really awesome eateries. Awesome eateries. So I want to go back. I want to double back to the question about the future of your company. So, I mean, that's a great outcome. Create enough revenues and be able to sell it.
Well, you know what? Right now, I have the person who's in charge of my business development. I would consider him a mentor in recruiting, because he's done recruiting before. Mm-hmm. So like I just told him the other day, I was thinking about selling in 7 to 11 years. I might not even sell, you know. I say my mind changes every day, you know. But I'm pretty much just following his lead of how to know the numbers in recruiting, like how many placements we should have a year and stuff like that. And then, you know, with this black swan corona happening, this kind of switches things up a bit. But I feel like by the end of 2021, then I'll know for sure like what's going on, you know.
Yeah. Where do most of your clients come from? How do you get your business? Social.
Well, yeah, right now it's been with me social media, and then also I send out like email blasts and stuff like that. So it's about 50-50, the email blasts and social media.
Yeah. We were playing with it, and it's set up. We just haven't pulled the trigger on it. It's out of beta, basically. But when the virus hit and the lockdowns and car dealers most were closed, but some were allowed to do things, you know, touchless deliveries and so forth. And dealers we talked to, everybody's like record month.
Yeah, it's
tons
because
of
that
money.
stimulus check.
Right. And they're doing it with less people, which is interesting as well. And so all of that led me to, well, how can I make it easier for car dealers to do business with us? So in my mind, I thought, well, they're doing it with a touchless delivery and, you know, pretty much kind of an Amazon thing, you know, click here, bang, check out, buy it, and you're done. So it was in my mind that they're doing that anyway, so they're used to it, the dealer, who's our client. Why not create a situation on our website where they don't have to talk to anybody? Have it set up to where, okay, you got column A, this is your choice. Column B, this is your choice. Here's what you get. Here's what it costs. I mean,
And
full,
they can
100%.
click and the guy shows up.
Click it. They bought it. We start, and it's done. We haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, but it's built. I mean, it's just sitting there on the site, just not visible. All we got to do is have it go live. What are your thoughts on something like that? Negative, positive, holes in it? Do you think something like that could work in the recruiting? Because nobody's doing that. What do you think about something like that? Or do you think?
I would send out, you know what I would do? I would just send out a survey to my existing clients, and then I would just ask them. And then, you know, obviously you would start with your existing clients, you know, and then you would branch off of it. But definitely got to ask and see, you know, what do they think? Let it go live for a little bit and have them test it out, and then, you know.
Yeah, because there'd be glitches with it for sure. Because invariably someone's going to have a question.
Yeah.
You know, because in our business, in recruiting, one of the technology's great, and we use it as much as we're able to. But when it comes right down to it, when you're talking about human capital, it takes, we got to talk to those people, man, right? I mean, it's inevitable.
It's inevitable, yeah.
You know, AI and technology can only take recruitment so far. At some point, somebody got to talk to somebody face to face. You know,
they just developed this new AI that can create poems, and also it's like something else that it can do. It's actually the most intelligent AI ever.
Really?
Yeah, it's called like CBT or something like that.
Huh.
Yeah, it's owned by Elon Musk. Yep.
I like
Now, when you got AI that can write poetry, then you know you've got an intelligent being.
Neuralink, Elon's
serious.
Neuralink is, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that's that far away, man.
No, they say it's coming soon. Did
This-
you watch the thing with the pigs and the Neuralink and all that stuff?
Yeah. I mean, this is going to
Yeah.
be in our arm somewhere
Yeah.
at some point.
Will you get a Neuralink?
It's funny you asked me that. I've actually thought about it, and I probably would.
That's probably why we got that extra brain. That 97% is for stuff like that, you know? That's the only way we can evolve.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Lucy?
No.
Eventually, like, she evolves so much that she just goes into thin air and she just becomes, like, everything.
Oh,
Like,
no,
she
wait a
is
minute.
everything.
I did see that movie.
Yeah.
I did see that movie.
Or
yes.
like the movie The Watchmen. You ever seen that with the blue guy? He's like I forgot what his name is, Doctor something, but
I don't think so.
I just think that Neuralink is the only way that we can keep up with AI, because now if you have artificial intelligence creating stuff, and it can also write its own code. And that's, if you go back and watch The Matrix, that was the thing. Like, the AI was writing its own code. So now that AI writes code and poetry, now AI can just start making clones.
You bet.
And you wouldn't even know.
Yeah,
Because it's so smart now that you don't even know. So really, we will never know what's real ever again, except for us. But the generation after us, they're not going to know. Like, they're not going to be able to tell like real from fake.
Yeah. Well, and Elon, I think in the podcast I've seen him on, he's concerned about that. He's respects it. He's and is a little concerned about AI taking over and robots taking over, because it's real. I mean, that could happen. I pretty fortunate. I didn't catch it when it's dirt cheap, but I caught Tesla. Excuse me, tickle. Tesla stock when it was pretty cheap.
Did
and
you
pretty
catch it
split.
when it was below 420?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember 420. That's when he was on Joe Rogan, and that's when he smoked.
Yeah.
So, because it had just hit 420.
Yeah.
So
I've done really well with it. As a matter of fact, was it 3-4 weeks ago? I ordered the tri-motor all-wheel drive Cybertruck.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So I can't wait till
That's sweet. Yeah.
bad.
So are you going to get the Cyber? Does your Cybertruck come with the 4-wheeler or no?
Yeah, it's all-wheel drive.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about, it comes with a 4-wheeler too. Like, you get the truck and a
Oh
4-wheeler.
no.
Okay.
No.
Well, when does it come out?
Well, supposedly around this time next year.
Man, that Cybertruck's like that's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie too.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I got the tri-motor, so I mean it's the, and you can add, but it's the most. I think it's, I don't know, 79,000 or whatever. But if you lease that thing, and especially through your business, it's cheap, man. And then you take gasoline out of the equation. It's really cheap. 80 grand, or this thing will probably end up being $90,000, because I want to be able to have the camper. I mean, total zombie apocalypse vehicle for me.
I know, right?
Right? It's like, just put my guns in there and, all the necessary stuff and be ready to fight
Make sure
zombies.
you get some Twinkies.
Got to have Twinkies, yeah.
For sure.
If you're gonna battle zombies, you got to have Twinkies. I think that's a must.
Yeah, I think that's a must too.
Yeah.
The Cybertruck is really nice, man.
I know. I'm pretty pumped about it. Pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I bet you are. Out. I can't wait to see it on the streets.
Right? Yeah, it'll be a head turner.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a Mars type of vehicle too.
It does.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know that any woman that I've shown it to or told about it is like, ugh, really? But guys are like, oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't think women are into it. I had a kind of a similar experience with cars. What year was this? Oh, when did that come out? This is CLS Mercedes, the 500, the sleek.
04? No, that just came out 07.
No, yeah, I think it was 07. Yeah. We had an office out in Utah, and I had another Mercedes, and I was driving it. I had someone drive it out, and then I drove it back when we closed that office down. And the car breaks down in a place called Boomer, Nebraska, literally the middle of nowhere. So they flatbedded it to Denver. I happen to know the guy that was the GM there. It was just crazy coincidence, and that car just hit. Like, this is the first one, and it was black. It was freaking gorgeous, man. And long story short, we work it out, and I drive out of there in the car, and I'm driving 80 east, and I look at my rear view, and there's lights. I look down at my speedometer. It's like, oh, whoa. And the cop comes up, and he goes, you know why I'm pulling you over. I said, speeding? He said, yeah. He said, do you know how fast you were going? I said, well, when I saw your lights and looked down, it was like 115. He said, yeah, I got you at 128. I said, man, look, I just literally bought this car a half hour ago.
Right.
I had no clue. He
Yeah.
goes, well, I haven't seen one. This guy did a 10, 15-minute walk around on this car, didn't ticket me. It was crazy.
Yeah.
He just said, where are you going? I said, Jersey. He said, just keep it at 80, all right? And just be
Right.
cool.
For
But
sure.
nice car. Have a nice day.
Right.
It was pretty lucky, you know.
Yeah, that's definitely lucky.
Yeah, real lucky. But that car was so fast. But my point in telling you that story is that, again, women were not that turned on by that car. But guys were, you know, when it first came out, it was like, man, that car's hot. That's a sharp car, dude. This
Yeah.
and that. But women,
And now a
not
lot of
so
women
much.
have had that car. I know a lot of women that have had that car.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you say, and they're, and usually the color's white.
Yep.
Yeah, women driving a white Mercedes.
Yeah.
Although I got a white Mercedes sitting out there right now, as a matter of fact. How much? Now you recruit for any industry, right? Your company recruits for all industries, or no?
Yeah, we can recruit. We can recruit for all industries. We are no holds barred.
Right.
Right now, automotive is predominantly where we're at the moment.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting. We do, and we usually just fall into this stuff, but other industries, we're doing a cabinet. This huge company, but they make cabinets, and it's like, okay,
I'm doing a search for cabinets too.
get out. Seriously?
But is it automotive?
No.
I'm doing a search right now for some automotive company it's like an RV company, and they're looking for cabinet makers.
Get out. That is so weird.
That is weird, man. I feel like you're stalking me.
Yeah, that's awesome. We also, do you know who Tacobi is? Jason Girdner and Tacobi?
Is that from Find something?
No, Tacobi is a huge company. They provide leads for car dealerships in their primary thing. I'm going to murder this. Sorry, Jason, if you're listening, or one of your guys. They use Facebook algorithms. This guy writes code. He's a really bright guy, and they make a crap load of money. They're located in Castle Rock, Colorado, and they've grown and grown and grown, and we do recruiting for them. And it's a big phone room. They calls them ninjas, but I don't know, we must have 30, 40 people we've put in that place.
Like a boiler room?
Yeah, pretty much. But we do some recruiting outside the industry, but mostly in. But for some reason I had the impression that you did stuff outside of the auto industry, which you're not opposed to, right?
No.
I mean,
like when the coronavirus situation first happened, I was branching off into consumer goods like textiles and retail and stuff like that. So, but then Corona forced me to double down on automotive. And so, when a natural disaster happens, you got to go for, where you're already getting money at, for sure. So I just mainly just focused on automotive.
Yeah. It was a brutal time, man. It was like, we, unfortunately, our business accounts are all with Wells. And, we made application immediately. It was announced, the PPP money, and we made application immediately. They jerked us around, and then a friend of a friend gave us another bank to use. Shout out to Republic Bank. And I don't know, 2 weeks after we made application, we got our check for
That's
our
the same
PPP.
thing that happened to me. Like, they denied me initially, and then I had my accountant tell me to go to my credit union, and then I went there, and then they accepted me.
Yeah. That was a lifeline for us, right? Because, I mean, I would have had to dip in them. We were not doing any business.
Right, me neither. I wasn't even getting invoices that were owed to me, So I was, at first I was living off my credit cards, for real.
It was, dude, that was scary. It's funny you said that. First thing I did was we called the company, or one of our company cards, and say, raise the limit, lower the rate. Come on, we need your help.
Yeah.
And then
That lets me know I'm doing the right thing because you know what? I just ordered a new credit card when it happened, you know? I was just trying to think proactively. So just to know that, you know, I'm doing the same thing that you're doing.
Yep.
And I've only been in business for a few years.
Yep.
Just lets me know that I'm on the right track, that I think the right way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, it was important because, I mean, it's like, you know, I could keep the company running. You know, I've been blessed to make a good living for a long time. So, I mean, but I would have had to keep the business running out of my own pocket, which I've been through. 08, 09, I had to do that deal because that was pretty brutal too. But this time, it stopped. I mean, there was no way. We'd call a dealer and they go, "Really, dude? Yeah, no, we don't need nothing."
Yeah,
So
right. Yeah.
We'll call you if and when we do.
You know what I started doing is, again, thinking proactive. I reached out to everybody just to make sure they were alive. And then that's how I started spinning my desk back up.
Yep.
You know, just by doing that. So
Ernie, my general manager, spent 8 hours a day just calling people, saying, just checking in on you, man.
that's what I was doing.
You all right?
For sure.
And there's no pitch because there was, you know, that would have been offensive, almost gross.
You had somebody call me and ask me for money about something. I was like, what?
Right. Yeah. I had.
Didn't even ask me how my family was doing or nothing, man. I was like, whatever you got going on is not going to last that long.
Yeah,
for real.
It's interesting you say that. I had a situation that I had a doctor, and I understand they went through a hard time, man. I mean, people, you know, ain't nobody coming in them doctors' offices. But it was about 10 days into the lockdown of New Jersey, and I had a doctor's office call me trying to schedule an appointment. I said, "Are you out of your minds? It's locked down. The last place I want to be is in a doctor's office because there's sick people in there. And no, I'm fine. We'll do this later."
Right. I didn't even take a plane until now because I wanted to watch everybody else.
Yeah, I haven't yet.
And how it was going to be.
How'd you feel about that?
To be honest, it's just like being at home, just walking around or going to the store. So it's just easy. It's just easy breezy, you know. But initially, I was like, man, I'm not about to, because, you know, I don't know the inner workings of this. They could be at the airport like, this could be a terrorist attack. You know, there's really no telling what's going on, you know. So I'm like, I'm not taking a plane, period, point blank, at all.
Yeah. Is it, any fear at all when you got on? Because we talked before the podcast started. You left Cleveland. You had to go to Detroit, and then Detroit to Philly.
No, everything was just pretty normal.
Yeah. With full flight? No.
Both times, probably because I have a single seat. I got on the quarantine. There's a quarantine row, and I was on that row. So my seat, I had nobody sitting next to me, and the seat. You know how it's the aisle right here?
Yeah.
They didn't have anybody sitting next to them either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, that's safer.
Yeah. And then there are at least 2 people in every other row. So they weren't full. The airports weren't even full. Detroit was kind of full though.
Yeah. This PermaSafe that we've talked about a little bit. What my daughter-in-law does, my son and her they went out to Sedona, Arizona for a little just get away and get their head straight deal. And she bought little aerosol or little spray bottles and put this stuff in it. And when they got on the airplane, sprayed their seat, got to the hotel, or the place they were staying, hotel, whatever, resort or whatever, and sprayed it around, just, you know, a little extra surface protection, you know, make them feel a little safer. And actually it is safer, not just a feeling, but
I mean, when it's got a name like Safe, it's definitely safe.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about flying, man. I'm just
bring some PermaSafe.
I guess I got some concern about it. There's some real knuckleheads in this world, man. You get on an airplane.
Some people, man, people just don't have social skills these days, I don't think.
Right.
I'm trying to get my bag. The guy behind me is saying, "Excuse me," trying to run off the plane. You know, like, man, can I get my bag, bro?
Yeah, relax.
You know what I mean? Like, calm down, man.
What are you going to save, 12 seconds?
Exactly. Like,
take a breath. That's all good.
It's never that serious, you know?
I know. That is weird. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
I used to travel a lot and fly a lot, and there's always that guy.
Yeah, it's just like with driving. You always got to watch out for. That's all I do, man. I watch out for everybody else because I know I'm good. You know, like I know I'm solid. I know everything is okay with me, but there's no telling what's going on with Joe Schmo over there, or just how he's living life. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and through the purchase of a ticket, you guys are right there next to each other. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Good thing we don't recruit for the airline industry, right? That would be pretty tough gig right now.
You think so?
Yeah, they're losing people. Yeah, they're laying off the.
Well, everybody's laying off though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, most. There's some that can't find people. Trucking industry, that's a tough find.
Volvo's probably just going to start making autonomous cars. I think they are already. Is it Volvo? Yeah, or Volkswagen. It's Volvo. They're making autonomous cars and stuff. So.
Volkswagen's in the game. Everyone's going after Elon.
Yeah.
Elon's going to end up selling batteries to everybody. So
Exactly,
gonna
because
get
that's
fat.
what the company is. It's a battery company. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what's up, man. You know what's up out here in these streets, man. You know what's going on.
yes, have a certain idea.
Yeah.
What do you see? And you take out a crystal ball in the world of recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see it going? I mean, do you see technology becoming even a bigger part of it? Do you see it staying kind of the way it is now?
I read this book on blockchain that said that some type of way they were going to try to use blockchain to take over the recruiting aspect, almost like what you're saying. But I don't know, because blockchain is nothing but a ledger, so I don't understand how it's going to take over recruiting unless you can go in and see this person on the blockchain, but then you still have to get him over to you. So,
How would they do that? I don't. I happen. Do you own any cryptocurrency?
Ethereum.
Yeah.
I just sold it, but I only had like one coin. I caught it when it was like down at like 2 something and sold it when it went up to like 4 something. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've bought for the last few years, but it's like I missed the Bitcoin bump to
17.
20 grand.
Yeah.
And it's what is it now? 11,000, I think.
11.
It's
It
something
was
like
just
that.
13, so now it's down to 11. So
Yeah.
it went up to what? It went up to 19,000, then down to 17.
Yeah.
Then 13, and now it's 11.
Yeah,
And
it
that's
was
Bitcoin,
7 or
right?
8,000 for a while there. I only have I have 4 or 5. I have about $5,000 in there, but that's interesting to me.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I don't know
Well, it is, but
because it's so confusing.
I was watching something earlier. It was like new money is going to invest in cryptocurrency, but old money is still going to invest in gold. So I think that possibly cryptocurrency will become the new gold, but that's going to take like 50 years.
I would guess that that's true. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen overnight.
But
yeah.
gold will still be gold because of the old money, which
Yeah.
is going to make gold gold. So
Yeah.
gold, I think that gold is probably a safer bet still than cryptocurrency, just because gold's not man-made.
Yeah.
And anything that's man-made can be broken.
Yeah, that's a
So-
fact. Well, and I made a decision, right or wrong. Well, I did it just for economics because it's cheaper. So I own silver shares of stock, but I own it's all relative. But I got silver bars, coins, and so forth. Again, for they'll go inside the Cybertruck with the
Right.
guns and everything for
Right.
for the zombie apocalypse. So
Right,
but
exactly.
silver's kind of interesting. So it's just so freaking cheap, man.
Yeah, it's
just,
cheap. I got a lot of silver mining companies and stuff, but then also I didn't get like any silver or gold mining companies in China because I heard they could just take it away or something like that.
Oh, that
something
wouldn't
can happen.
That wouldn't shock me. That's not out of the realm of being true.
I got these books by Jinping or whatever his name is, the president over there. That like it's basically like his let's just say like his green book or whatever that book is that Gaddafi had, or also like his book like Marx or whatever. But I still haven't read it, but I'm definitely gonna read. He's got like 3 books that I want to check out to see exactly how he thinks. Like, where does he see China? Like, how does he want China to be? Because obviously everybody thinks that they know what's right, and everybody else is wrong. Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy to the good guy?
It's hard to figure out.
You know, it's like TV show The Walking Dead. You know, like if you ever watched that and you never seen it before, you would think that the good guys are the bad guys. You know,
right.
So there's no telling.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting times we live in, and we've picked an interesting career. I
love it.
Yeah, but so do I. And it's like people, and it doesn't seem recruiting doesn't seem sexy, air quotes.
What?
But
yeah, recruiting probably doesn't.
Yeah,
you say recruiter, people probably like,
yeah, but especially as long as we've been into it, where we've seen any number of, I mean, it's quite a large number now of people that we've recruited, and it happens a lot in sales, where we've taken a person out of a completely unrelated industry, mid-20s, whatever, and 8-10 years later, they own a dealership.
yes.
And they're calling us.
That's the part that I'm waiting for.
It's so, dude, money's, cash is king. We gotta have dough. We gotta have revenue.
Yes.
But man, I'm gonna tell you what, it's that's a pretty big payday when you find out that somebody you gave an opportunity to years ago, you've completely, changed generational wealth for this man or woman. It's quite an awesome feeling. It's really an awesome feeling. We have situations where we have several recruiter trainers within the company now, because we do both. We do recruiting like you do it,
Yeah, I just saw you had a trainer out, and he was talking to a lady. I forgot what dealership it was, though. I don't even remember the guy's name, but he was standing like 6 feet away from the lady, so it had to be recent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so we do that for salespeople, and we do a lot of remote recruiting. Obviously, actually more so that than the other, but we have a couple trainers that are with us. That were recruited, started in the business, answered one of our ads, went to work at a dealership, worked through the ranks, became management, then used us to recruit people, and then full circle came to work for us, which is really cool. So when they're standing in front of people, they're going, hey, look, here's my story.
right.
I answered an ad just like you. I got hired. I excelled. I worked hard. I became a manager. I used the recruiting company that recruited me, and now the same company that recruited me initially, I work for.
So you know what? I never
really
put
cool.
out ads. I always just go out and hunt for the person.
You don't use ads at all.
No,
I'll be darned. That's interesting.
I really go out and I get the person.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
But I just think that's just because that's the way I was taught.
Yeah.
So that's the way I do it. And
nothing wrong with
also,
that.
Well, no, there's nothing wrong with it, because I kind of came in also during this recession. Even though I really don't think this is a recession,
Right. Yeah.
But 07, 08, that was a recession.
Indeed.
I feel like the automotive industry, since people got so much money and that PUA money, people already wanted cars, that we did all right. You know? So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know what's going to happen now, because I think with Christmas, I feel like people are going to get I feel like people are going to get a little antsy within these next few months, especially with Christmas coming up.
And
It's America's holiday. Christmas is America's holiday. It really is. It's bigger than July 4th. Christmas is the holiday.
It's a fact. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I think I feel less strong about this than I did in April, but I believe it only makes sense that dealers lost a couple months of revenues, right?
Yeah.
When all the lockdowns happened, because they were so severe. So they're still, and even though they're kicking ass right now, they're still behind a little bit, because, I mean, it's tough to make up a couple months. I mean, we're down, we're doing real well, and we're still down, I don't know, 300 grand in revenues as compared to year over year.
It's crazy because, well, you're down 300 grand and I'm down 20 grand. So
Yeah, well, it's all relative. You'll get
I know,
there.
right? It's so funny.
You'll get to a bigger loss someday.
Right, I know, right?
Something
can't
to
wait.
aspire to.
Right.
So it was in my opinion that in talking to my team, I said, look at the way I see this, because November and December for 23 years has sucked for us. I mean, it's just after the second week in November, dealers just like recruiting new people, even though that should be the time that they do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it really should be, so
Yeah.
they're ready for the spring market. They really should, but they don't. It was, in my opinion, very strongly in April that November is going to be a lot stronger than we've ever experienced, and consequently December. I'm less optimistic about that happening now because business picked up again so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think dealers, when they get into the fourth quarter, they're going to look and they're going to say, hey,
We
okay.
should have pulled the trigger earlier.
Yeah, yeah. So there might still be for you and I,
Mm-hmm.
November, December could, I think, I'm pretty sure it's going to be better than it has been traditionally. I don't think it's going to be like, a spring or a fall market in terms of recruiting in car dealerships. But I think November, December, they're still playing catch up. So I think they're still going to need people. I think it's going to be different than it's been for the last 20 years. In my opinion, I think it's going to be different. So, I mean, we just enlisted an advertising agency, marketing company. So, I mean, I'm spending the money to, it's tough to make a market, but I think this year's going to be a little different. So I made the decision to spend a little money and get pretty aggressive. That's where this hire button comes from.
Well, I mean, that's smart.
I think. We'll see.
Grab a pen.
No, I think so.
878-5090, the number you need to hire for any department in your business. AutoMax Recruiting, #hire.
So did you send that to?
We just got these.
Uh-huh.
My marketing company came out with them, and I thought it was kind of cute. So we're trying to decide who gets these, actually. They're pretty expensive, actually. But I think probably what we decided, I think the final decision was we're going to send these to relatively new clients that have used us for one or two different positions, and let them know that we do everything.
Right.
Clients that have been with us 20 years, it's like, okay, thanks for the button. Won't get used.
Right.
But I think so. But it's kind of cute. It's kind of a cute little thing. So
Yeah, it is. It's pretty
see.
nice.
Yeah, we'll see how it
I
goes.
still can't believe that you're looking for cabinet makers. Like,
Weird, dude.
that's out of anything. Cabinet maker?
I'll find out the name of them. I'll let you know who it is. I
My
can't remember.
people, they're in
their name.
Arizona. So they're looking for some cabinet makers for RV dealership.
Yeah.
Or not a dealership, but it's not even a
RVs.
dealership.
Yeah, that's odd. RV's a good niche, man.
Yeah, it is. I found that out right before Corona that RV was a pretty good niche. And RV they don't pay flat rate, they pay salary. And RV sales, from what I've heard, they really just skyrocketed, throughout Corona. So I think people are getting ready for the apocalypse. I feel like I was made for the apocalypse. I even named my son Max. I got a son named Max because I knew he was probably gonna be the last person. Yeah, I knew he was probably gonna be the last person with the V8. You know what I mean?
That's
I'm a
funny,
futurist.
man. That's pretty funny. Yeah. At some point there'll be an end time, right? Don't know when it is, but at some point.
I'm just gonna wear nothing but leather and rubber and try to give me a couple motorcycles. What?
And have your shades.
And have my shades. Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta have my shades.
Yeah.
Have them ready.
Yeah. I think it's a good brand for you.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Try to.
It's interesting trying to have a conversation with somebody wearing sunglasses for a couple hours, but
Right.
I think it's a good brand for you.
Right. Yeah.
It's a good look. It's interesting.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate it. But it's very hard to be a sex symbol. Honestly.
How's it going for you?
A lot of days in the gym, a lot of tattoos.
Yeah. You're tatted up pretty good there, young man.
Yeah, I'm still getting my stomach done. You know what? My tattoo artist who's doing my stomach, he's very busy.
Yeah.
I'll just say, yeah, he's probably one of the best tattoo artists in Ohio. So
Oh, yeah?
he's really busy. Yeah, yep. Eric Kaplan is his name
Eric
at
Kaplan.
Olympus Tattoos.
Shout out to Eric at Olympic Tattoos.
Olympus Tattoos.
Olympus.
Yeah. Shout out
My
to
bad.
Eric out there in Lakewood. Yeah, but he's really good. I'm having him do my back also.
Yeah.
So
What do you got now? What? How do you make a decision on what kind of ink, what you're going to put on your body? What do you got now?
I think that it's just where I am in life, the things that I've always wanted. It's kind of like some of the things that I stand for, you know. Just different things. A lot of animals. And then like it's funny because I just heard this new saying, right? It was before you can be a shark in the ocean, be a lizard in your own house.
Okay.
So
the shark in the ocean, you got to be a lizard in your own home. Okay.
yeah, and that's like an African proverb. So I was gonna get like a whole bunch of lizards on my thigh because I got a whole bunch of sharks on the bottom part of my leg. But the sharks are stuck in cheese because like sharks stuck in cheese. Cheese is money. But it's like I don't know.
Ha. That's interesting.
Yeah.
You got them on your arms?
Yeah, I got them on my arms, on my hands. I got
Yeah.
Pinky in the Brain on my neck. That's just, you know, because I'm trying to take over the world. I
you
got like
go.
some alien stuff. I got like some, like on my neck also I have aliens in Indian head dresses.
Yeah.
You know, like and that's just, I don't know, just like playing around like with history.
You must have
know?
been doing mushrooms or something when you got that one done.
No, but I've done shrooms a lot.
Yeah.
But not recently, obviously.
Yeah.
But no. I used to just do shrooms and just look at the blinds, go like this. And I just sit there and just look at the blinds like, man, that's so crazy. What about you?
I had some experience with that in peyote in 1970. It's a very long story, but I had gotten drafted to go to Vietnam.
Did you?
Yeah, and I decided that wasn't going to work out for me, so I hitchhiked around the United States for 13 months.
Wow. For
And-
13 months.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was I ran into some pretty interesting things. And one time I was in Arizona, and I met some guys that knew some people that knew some, they were actual Cherokee Indians. And we became friends, and they were young, and they had mushrooms and peyote, and took some, threw up, and then
You know what? I threw up too when I took the shrooms the first time, and then my throw up looked like a kaleidoscope.
dude,
Did
that
yours
stuff
look like a
is
kaleidoscope too?
Serious.
Yeah,
trip.
I ate a
Serious.
whole eighth. Do not eat a whole eighth
Yeah.
with an empty stomach or
Yeah.
a stomach filled with alcohol.
I came to the following day on top of a building in the middle of nowhere, naked, 2 dogs, stray dogs, on top of the roof, tin roof in Arizona. And I came out of the trip like, boom. And I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, these guys show back up and say, "You all right, dude?" It's like, where are my clothes?
Yeah.
And what happened?
And
Like,
why are you? What was up with them dogs?
right, where'd these dogs come from? And yeah, it was pretty crazy. Pretty
If there were camera
intense.
phones back then, man.
Oh, yeah, that would have been, that would have sucked because that would have gone on the internet somewhere, and those things never come off.
No, they never do. I
Yeah.
remember this one time I was in college and I was so like drunk. I was throwing up on my in the toilet or whatever, and I fell asleep in the bathroom by the toilet. And one of my friends, this girl Champagne, came into the room, I guess, to see if I was all right. And there was a party going on in the dorm, and I was like stripped all the way down in my boxers. And for some reason, I thought she was telling me to get up and go in the hallway. So I got up and went in the hallway. It's a whole party going on. I'm just standing there like in my boxers, just looking around at everybody, you know?
Yeah.
But I got some crazier stories than that. Trust me, man, for real. But That's just PG-13 story.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy when you're in recovery and you tell people some of the things that happen to you. They go, "Oh, that's bullshit. That didn't happen. There's no way." And it's like,
Yeah,
it's like it's real stuff, man. It's just like real stuff. I had a situation near the end of my drinking career, and you would thought this would have ended it, but my the middle wife that was crazy that I married to for a couple months. Her and I did some day drinking. Long story short, we got super drunk, which created an argument.
Right.
We're in the car, and she's going full on crazy person on me in the car.
Right.
So we just happened to be in Akron and on the expressway. And I throw the car in park. I get out of the car, walk down the ramp. I walk into this bar, black bar, packed. Bartender comes over to me, and I mean, it was like I walk into this place, and it was like nobody talking.
It was
Like 150 people looking at me.
Yeah.
Bartender comes over and said, "Dude, look, you are in the wrong place."
Right.
I said, "Yeah, evidently." I said, "I don't have a good vibe." He said, "No, you're not going to have a good vibe here." I said, "Well, let's buy everybody in here drinks, one round." He said, "Well, that'll help." So we did that, and
Yeah.
a couple people go,
Yeah.
So this woman comes from the end of the bar, comes around to me, said,
Because obviously you just spent all that money, so she's trying to see what's up.
well, yes, ultimately, yes.
Yeah, you know what's going on, man.
But she comes up, she says, did I just see you walk down the exit ramp into here?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Cleveland." She said, "Do you need a ride?" I said, "Possibly." She said, "Hold on, I'll be right back." So she comes back, says, "Yeah, my boyfriend and I, we'll take you. $50. I said, $50? I'm in. So we get in the car. He's driving. She's sitting in the front seat. I'm sitting behind her in the back seat. He says, "We've got to make a stop." I said, "Okay." So, and they're stopping at the crack house. I said, "Okay." He said, "You wait in the car." I said, "Okay, yeah, no problem." So I wait in the car. They come back out, 20 minutes. And they fire up the pipe. They hand it back to me. I'd never, ever smoked that. And one hit, and it was like I said, "Okay, I understand why people are into this."
Yeah.
And I had been filling the rest of the story. I'd been drinking the entire day. I mean, I was I was like out of my mind. And I was bleeding because she had hit me a couple times in the fight in the car.
And that sobered you up.
Well, no. What sobered me up was we pull out of there. We get on the highway.
Yeah.
Going up. What was that?
271?
77, or were we on 2? No, we were on 77 going to 271. All of a sudden, he's driving. He goes, "Did you hear that?" And he pulls off the side of the road. I go, "Oh, shit, I'm screwed, man." Comes back, opens up the back door, and starts bouncing this revolver off my forehead. "You MF this, MF that."
You saying you were the police?
Dead, huh?
You saying you're the police or something?
No. He
He's
said,
hearing
you a dead man, blah, 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 blah. So at the time, I had a ring that was given to me by Cadillac Motor Division that, like literally, it was the only one of its kind in the country. It's a whole nother story I won't get into, but it was it had some actual value. But
it's like a millionaire's ring or something like that.
It was very important to me. Tag Heuer watch. For whatever reason, I've always carried a lot of cash on me, so I had several $100s on me, and all my cards. So I literally thought he was going to shoot me right then and there. but he didn't. He put me in the front seat. She got in the back, and for 4.5 hours, I got this revolver literally behind my left ear, pressed against my neck. And we just started hitting ATMs, withdrawing cash off my cards. It was dawn. I had literally pissed my pants. It's dawn. And they said, we're going to let you out up here. I said, oh, thank you, God. And it's like, so we get off. We had pulled off an exit to hit another ATM. We get on the entrance ramp to the highway, and we're up Arlington Road.
In
off
Akron?
of 77, yeah.
Yeah.
This dude jumps the median, goes across the southbound lanes, hits this dirt road. I said, shit, they're going to kill me right here.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So it was like, okay, I got to make a decision here. So I reached for the door handle, and this was a late 80s Oldsmobile Delta 88.
Uh-huh.
The door locks are locked.
Uh-huh.
So I figured, and it freaked him out. He hits the brakes, and my shoulder goes up like this because I figured she's going to shoot me.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't.
Because there was no bullets in the gun.
No, they were all freaked out.
Uh-huh.
So I hit the door lock. I roll out of the car, and I start running and zigzagging.
Yeah.
I think I'm in a freaking movie,
Uh-huh.
And when you get shot at.
In the movies, they're not even that smart to run zigzag.
Yeah, typically.
Yeah.
But it was ping, ping, and hitting the dirt 4 or 5 feet away from me.
Uh-huh.
4 shots. I run until there used to be a Holiday Inn right there at the Arlington Road exit. I run in there now. This is 12 hours of me being drunk, smoking crack at the crack house.
Yeah.
Being held at shot at.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like incoherent,
Right.
like a crazy person. So I go to the clerk at the front desk, and I'm trying to explain what's happening,
Yeah.
but what's coming out of my mouth is just gibberish, right?
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I'm on my knees.
The police.
Police are there
Uh-huh.
with a shotgun against my forehead, like this, and surrounded by, I mean, there was a bunch of police there. She thought I was there to rob the place or something because I was acting like a maniac. So I finally got one officer I finally calmed down enough to be able to tell him what happened. And he said, can you remember where this house was? I said, yeah, actually, I think I can. And so I got in this patrol car, and they had already switched the place out. They had already moved the operation from that house to somewhere else. Guy goes to the door, just normal people there. And it was definitely the same house that I had been to 6-7 hours earlier in the evening. And they had stolen all my ID. I mean, several $1,000s.
And that's when the ATM didn't even have cameras.
Correct. That's correct.
And it didn't have a limit on the amount of money you could withdraw.
That's correct. They did.
Yeah.
They did not. Now I tell you what, all the banks, credit cards, everybody made good on it. It was crazy. But the ring and the watch, of course, I never got back. But you would think, right? Any normal thinking person would think at that point, okay, well then you got a problem, Craig. You got to quit drinking, right?
Right.
Quit for 3 or 4 days, started up again. And then at the time I was partners in a consulting company, and my partner called me. He said, how you doing? I said, I'm all right. He said, well, we got this dealership in New Jersey outside of Atlantic City, needs our help. Now this is the late 80s. Actually, this was in 91, 92. where we go into dealerships, so they were called turnaround deals, where we got paid. We'd go in, hire people, put in a selling strategy, and we got paid on 50% of whatever we increased the business. It was very, very lucrative. And he said, he calls me, he says, I need you to go out there. We got a huge opportunity at this Ford dealership, this. And I said, dude, you want me, you think this is have you thought this through?
Mm-hmm.
I drink like a lot.
Right.
I also count cards, so I'm going to be playing blackjack all the time.
Right.
And as long as you're playing, they feed you alcohol.
Yep.
Do you really think this is a really good idea for me to go to Atlantic City to handle this deal? Why don't we send somebody else? No, this is perfect for you. We need to. All right, dude. So I came out, and I'm still drinking at the time. And the owner of the dealer set me up with it. I didn't know this was going to be a 4-step meeting there, but the owner of the dealership sets me up on a date, and it was in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing through my whole drinking career I never did was drink during the day while I was working.
Right.
That was the last
Never
I
even at
haven't done
lunchtime?
yet.
Never even at lunch?
Never. It was my last thing I held on to that, well, I'm not that bad because I don't drink during the day at
Yeah,
work.
that's how I used to feel. And I'd be like, I only drink at lunchtime on Fridays.
Right. Right. It's crazy thinking, right? So he sets me up with this date. It was June 9th. And beautiful restaurant on the water.
Mm-hmm.
My date was gorgeous. He did a real fine job setting me up.
Then the camera crew comes.
Server comes over, would you like a cocktail? She goes, yeah, I'll have a vodka Bloody Mary. I said, make it 2. Just didn't even think about it. She leaves, comes back, she puts on the drinks. I get that drink to here in the vodka, the smell of the vodka shut up through my nose, and people believe in a lot of different things, but this was a very strong spiritual moment where I set that glass down and I looked at her. I said, look, I'm really sorry. And here's whatever. I threw some money down. I said, you're going to have to find a way home. I got to go. She said, okay. So I get up, I leave, I go back to the dealership. Phone book, Alcoholics Anonymous, call. Guy that answered the phone ended up being my sponsor. Said, yeah, there's a place called, and it's a clubhouse, and it's 24/7. Mm-hmm. We got meetings all the time, so you just come out when you come out, And that was the last. So actually, June 8th was the last drink I had, but I used June 10th because the next day was June 10th, which is Founders Day, oddly enough, and haven't had a drink since. It's 27 years ago, but it's like, it's just the shit we go through to get to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how kids do it. I don't understand how a 20-year-old, 25-year-old can get sober. I just don't get it. Because the thought of never drinking again or never using drugs again, just as a kid, it's mind-boggling. I mean, our brains, especially as males, our frontal lobes aren't developed till our mid-20s as it is. I don't know how a 20-year-old can quit drinking. I really don't. It's just, my hat's off to them. If a 20-year-old can stay sober, man, unbelievable to me. Because it took me many stories like that.
Me too.
To finally hit bottom enough to where I gave up. It was just too much. I just literally, the old thing, they say, we've heard it a million times, sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was just done, man. I was defeated. I was done. I would have done anything to get sober and stay sober at that point. Literally anything. But thank God that I did, and I picked the right guys, and they didn't, they wouldn't buy into any of my bullshit, and just called me on everything. Like, no, that's bullshit, Craig. Well, if you're not serious about this, get the f out of here, and
Man, that's good, man. That's a really good story.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know how we got to there, but
I do want to thank you for sharing your experience, strength, and hope with me.
yeah,
For real.
yeah,
Most definitely.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's out there for everybody.
For the whole wide world.
Yeah, it's you don't have to go through that pain and suffering, man. Because I would have ended up, like you mentioned earlier, to your point, I would have ended up dead or killed somebody else somewhere along the line. It's just inevitable what would have happened.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah. It's just, and it's hard. And one of the things we have to be careful of is, as being in recovery, is regrets, because it's so many things, there's so many opportunities. Like, I wish I would have.
Yeah.
I wish I would have.
I know.
You can't get caught up in that stuff, man, because that'll drive you back to drinking again.
My
You gotta
mom
be
tries to
careful.
get me caught up in that stuff, man, sometimes. Like, you should have did this, you should have. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I'm just happy
Yeah.
where I am right now.
Yeah.
And things have really turned out for the best.
Yeah.
And
Well, she don't know. I
she
mean,
don't
that
know.
ain't her fault, right?
yeah, for sure. And I honestly, man, like, I get wins every single day, man. It's a lot of wins people don't even know about. you know?
Wins. That's interesting you say that. Where'd you get that from?
Uh,
How do you understand? How do you know wins? Counting your wins. How do you know that?
I don't know.
Huh?
It's
That's
just in my
interesting.
subconscious the way I just brought. Why?
I'll talk to you about it after the podcast. We're hooked up with a guy. He's it's a neuroscience guy. He does what's called brain hacking, and he talks about wins a lot. And we, in our company, every Friday on our Zoom call, our company meeting, because we're remote, we're all over the country. Our whole team, my son goes, "It's, what were your wins for this week?"
Oh, yeah.
And that's how we start off every single
Yeah.
meeting we have with our team. Is what are your wins? But
I
I
think
have
that might just be a sales thing, because I'm always counting my wins, though, for sure. And
powerful, man.
yeah,
So important.
every single day is literally the best day of my life, for just one simple fact that I woke up the next day, and then I
right.
just
There you
create
go.
that day.
There you go.
Like, I just create that best day, and that's literally how I get my wins every single day. Every
you
day I'm building, but once I got that foundation taken care of, then I was able to really build. And now, like, the sky is honestly the limit, and it sounds or seems so crazy, but it's the truth. And if you're not winning, or if you don't understand how to build that foundation, you can always get in touch with me, and I'll always help you, the most I can.
Well, we have a guy. His name's Dr. Eugene Chow, CHOI, and he's brilliant. He's one of the most giving men. One of the most emotionally intelligent people I've ever met in my life. Myself, my son actually turned me onto it, and we've turned a lot of people onto this guy. As a matter of fact, the guest we had in here Monday is starting with his first session with this guy next week. He's a life changer. It's a little pricey, but I'm going to tell you what, dude. It can change things for you. This guy, we highly recommend him. I can set you up with him. You can have an hour call with him for free, just to see if you guys mesh, or if it's something you want to go further with, and like zero cost. This guy's brilliant, and it's called brain hacking. He gets into your brain, and the things that are holding us back. The bullshit stories that we tell about ourselves that we make up, that why we can't do this and we can't do that and we can't be this and we can't be that.
Right.
And he finds out how to fight through that and get into what he calls an executive state of joy, empathy, emotional intelligence, and so forth. It's amazing. Amazing. really amazing.
No-brainer.
It'd be you would really embrace us. You really would. Just in the brief 3 hours and 5 minutes
Right.
that we've talked to each other.
Right. I got to come back and do this again because, I wasn't even able to, share my whole story, I guess.
Do it again. Open invite, dude.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, anytime at all. Yeah, and that's probably a good place to wrap this thing up. It has been 3 hours and 4 minutes.
And it's truly
Isn't
been
that
a
weird?
pleasure.
Pleasure's mine. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're a sharp young guy, man. You keep doing the right thing,
Thanks so
you're going to go
much.
far. You got a bright future.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
it's
you.
so bright you got to wear shades. I think
So
that's
bright,
a song.
I got to
dude.
wear shades.
Yeah, that's a
Yes.
song somewhere in there. So, all right, just one last time, tell people, because the way people listen to this thing is in chunks and over the next days. And I'll send you updates on the tracking of the views, but it starts out with just a few hundred to start with, but then it adds, I don't know, 500, 600, 700, 800 a day. And
That's really cool.
it's weird. It's just weird how this thing works out, but
That's cool.
yeah, it'll give you some good exposure, and we had a pretty interesting conversation.
Right. And I'm always looking for sponsors as well, to be honest, because I really want to have a TV show. I know we were talking about a podcast earlier, but I want to have a TV show where I can get athletes to test drive cars, and I could interview the athlete, and also I could interview like the GM at the dealership or whatever. And I feel like it's a no-brainer. It's a win-win situation for everyone. It gives the dealership exposure, it gives the athlete exposure, it lets the athlete get a chance to lease or buy a new vehicle, and also it just gives my business exposure, and
Yeah, that's a good idea,
entertained.
because all those guys are hooked. Most of those guys, the name guys at least, are hooked up with some dealership in town.
Yeah, like
and they're
Odell
getting cars for free.
Beckham's got he's got a Rolls Royce Wraith with an emblem of himself coming out the hood, catching a football one-handed. Lamar Odom, he's in Cleveland right now, and he is hooked up with Porsche. So it's weird seeing Lamar Odom drive a Porsche, but I guess
Right, that is weird.
yeah. But
I don't know how you fit in that.
that's what they got him with. So
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
crazy.
But yeah,
OBJ coming around, man. I
Yeah.
tell you what, I thought he was going to be a train wreck when they signed him, but
no, I mean he's focused. If you ever see him
seems to
during
be.
the off season, that's all for TV. It's all a show. He is focused. for
seems
real.
like it.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just got to beat Pittsburgh this Sunday, and
Yeah.
it'll be a good year.
Yeah, it'll be a very good year. We'll be all right.
All right, one last time, tell everybody how to find you, and we'll sign this thing off. Here.
Solomon Abraham and Associates Global Executive Search Firm. You can find us on LinkedIn at Solomon Abraham and Associates. You can find me personally on LinkedIn, Dan Williams. I'm on there wearing a black suit with a black patent leather bow tie. Also D Williams on Facebook, Wise Dome with a Z, Wise Dome 365247 on Instagram. Also, my number is 216-233-9752. You could send me a text. That'll probably work the best.
Good.
And I'm always here to answer. I'm always here to talk. And if you eat your boogers too, that's all right. We'll definitely have something to talk about. So it's cool.
Good place to end it. Adam, send us out of here, would you?